tips and tricks.
That's a pyramid scheme.
No!
It's a conical tiered multi-flow through medical marketing entity.
Absolutely.
Prove it!
She's her own customer, Steve!
An essential oil party?
It's a scam. You give them money and they just take it.
All the red flags just look like flags.
It'll tip over.
We have guests. You were supposed to have cleaned up all these quality products.
She needs an oilvention.
Stupid cult. They label their financial records like dummies.
This isn't a scheme. It's a system.
Hello. Good morning. Julie's here. I'm so excited that Julie's here. We're going to be covering an MLM that her and I have been following. I first heard about this MLM back in July, just randomly. There's a woman on my Facebook that I've been friends with since my LuLaRoe days. And, you know, I want to purge all the Huns from my Facebook page, but every single time that I leave them, little nuggets of things like this come into my lap. So she was one of the very first people. She's also doing the casino letters that you know about. She's also doing, she did Elamir. She does them all. So she's doing TranzAct cards. She was one of the first people to do it. I saw her post this back in July and I was like, this is definitely a scam. I had to screenshot it because she was holding a card. I had to zoom in on the card and it was so blurry and try to figure out what it said. And I was like, does that say trans something? And I figured it out and made my very first video, which caused all this backlash, which got people in the anti-MLM community just being aware of the name. So when it started to become more popular a few months later, you jumped on that bandwagon and you were like, this is a scam. And I was like, thank God Julie's here with me. It's been a lonely road.
Yeah, I remember when you first started speaking about TranzAct card and it just then. So first off, I'm still deprogramming from being in two cults, right? So there's like that and then like helping other people exit. So then it's like piecing together, you know, how global this fraud is and all that. And then when I saw your piece of content, I'm like, the name was so messed up. It didn't roll off the tongue. There was no umlaut over the A. So I'm like, what the hell is this? And so it was on my radar. And then as, you know, more time goes by and then I started to see it on Facebook as well. And then it was like, okay, it's time. It's challenging when you're making content because you have to wrap your head around what the scam is. And like, if you're like, oh, here's another one. Do I have the energy to speak on this? But
100%.
The way the people I remember your content on TikTok when you would be mentioning how these reps would just they're so deeply affected by this scam. They're so bought in that their response was like nuts. And then I saw it too. And I'm like, everybody acts like this, but it reminds me of Amway reps. Like they're so deeply brainwashed. And I'm like, holy crap. So this is very, I'm late to the game, but I'm here to help support and spread awareness.
You're right on time. Yeah. I was like, am I crazy? Is no one else seeing this green card? Am I the only one? Am I in some sort of like second dimension that no one can see? So yes, the fact that other people, and then people would be like, oh, I just saw a video on YouTube. So-and-so made a video breaking this down. And I was like, thank God, like it's made it to YouTube. I know it was on TikTok and Instagram because I had posted it, but it started getting to other places. And then I was accused of being like a government plant who was in there just to take TranzAct card down. Wild shit.
Government doesn't pay that much. I mean, mind you, if you're in Canada, they could, but
the government doesn't even
a government plant. It's like the X-Files. You also make bees. They're like flying in those big fields with those round things.
Oh yeah. God. My life is an episode of Black Mirror and nobody even knows. Yeah. I've got like robot pyramid scheme bees just flying around gathering information.
Drones.
Don't you know? Don't you know? That's what I spend my government checks on. I get a discount if I keep it in the system. Ridiculous. So what happened was TranzAct card started. It was founded by this guy named Richard Smith and this other guy named Peter Rancy. Peter Rancy was the only name on anything. Somebody reached out to me and they were like, hey, did you know that Richard Smith's involved? And I was like, wait, what? So then I started Googling that and I found a bunch of stuff on that Oz had done on Behind MLM about about Richard Smith and his other MLM, which was called Our Network, which is essentially the exact same thing that's happening. And in the comment section of the video we're about to watch, somebody actually says, this sounds a lot like Our Network. And I commented. And I was like, well, yeah, Richard Smith did both of them. So what do you expect? So it's just strange. The internet finds out about Richard Smith. I made a video. Richard Smith resigns. Do I think it's a correlation to my video? I don't know. Was my video the thing that got people to ask more questions? Maybe. I have no idea. We don't know because they would never admit it in real life that there's a girl on TikTok and da da da. Like, whatever. So we expose Richard Smith. He resigns. And TranzAct card loses their banking status because it's a scam. And banks are like, no. They lose their banking. So the cards that they did have that I originally saw are no longer. Those were only around for a little bit. Since August, they have not had banking. Maybe like I found out in July, right? So since August, there hasn't really been solid banking, anything. And there have not been cards since August. The product this company sells in this product-based pyramid scheme does not exist. The card does not exist. They cannot get financial backing. They cannot get anybody to allow them to have this. And it's not even a bank. Like, it's literally a card that runs through to an actual bank account. So they cannot find any bank that is willing to route that money, which they then take microtransactions. And that's how everybody gets paid on these tiny, tiny, tiny microtransactions added up. I mean, I think people are only getting like 5 to 3% or like 3 to 5% on like commissions and things like that. Like, it's not a lot of money. And I might be confusing it with other MLMs I'm looking into right now, but frankly, most of them are all the same. You are not that late. We haven't even started. Gina, you're great. So yeah. So what happened was this past weekend, and I don't know at what point this happened, but something happened over the weekend and everything changed. TranzAct card is no longer. It is now called, what is it called now? FinMore. FinMore. And I like, as soon as I heard it was changing, I ran to the Facebook group that I'm in. It still had all the TranzAct logos. So I took pictures, but it said FinMore. And the next day when I checked, all the TranzAct card logos had been gone and they'd been replaced with FinMore. So I grabbed another screenshot. So I have a screenshot of both of those things to prove that originally it was TranzAct card and more. It's wild. Every name has been changed. They're not DBOs. They're something else. Like, everything's changed. I made a video about all the changes. It's on TikTok and Instagram. And then I made a video based on the first 10 minutes of this hour-plus long webinar. This was sent to me by one. I have like 2 or 3 sources that are sending me this stuff from the inside. I don't have the comments. I know. I've told the FTC about this. I think I told them about the other one too. I don't know. Maybe I'll just email again, Katie again. So this is the webinar that came out. It is, I believe it is a team. Like, I don't know who this guy is. His name's Randy. I don't know if he's like founder level or if he's the top of a pyramid, if he's the top of a team. I don't really know who this guy is, but this was sent to me by one of my sources and they were like, here's a video. And I was like, oh my God. I told her, I said, you are a golden goddess. And then I emailed Julie. I was like, do you want to react to this video with me? Like, there isn't really a ton of other people covering this. So we're going to watch this video together. And bothered. We're going to watch this together. And yeah, you guys know. Let me make this full screen. So you don't look at my stupid next videos. Okay, and let's hit play.
Cool. Good to see everybody. You know, I just want you all to imagine that we're sitting in a sports bar and we're pounding down some shots. I'm joking, of course. I haven't had the alcohol for a long time.
The My Pillow guy
I couldn't help myself.
has a whole My Pillow store that includes more than just pillows. Like, he's selling
you guys
scarves.
all saw that I announced that on Monday evening
and all
I will
kinds
do
of
a
stuff.
comprehensive recap. And my purpose for this session is not to do a comprehensive recap. My purpose for
I know
this
Randy's been
is
in like 27 years or something
when
like
I
that,
was
network
listening
marketing.
to the corporate Zoom earlier.
Like, he seems like a
he's been in like Canaway,
and I've been in parts of the discussions
Monavie.
that have been going on for the last
He's been
couple of
around,
weeks.
this
As
guy.
their leadership council and so on. I've been part of quite
They
a few
have a My Pillow store catalog and they sell apple cider vitamins.
And even though I had that background of being in
apple
those
cider
other
vinegar
conversations,
vitamins. It's called
I
My
did not
Store.
leave that Zoom a couple of hours ago with clarity and
My
really
Pillow
having
guy
a sense of
sells vitamins
understanding
now.
of what needs to happen next and what has happened. And so what I wanted to do for this session, well, first of all, I'll answer any question. There is no question. It's not okay. If you want to put anything in the text stream, I will answer any question if I know the answer to it.
I don't think so. He's just comments.
That's to get the answer.
Right? They're deleting comments.
So there were a handful of questions that seemed to be the very most front burner, upfront question was, are we now building two companies? No, we are not building two companies. The name of the company we are building is called FinMore. There, as we all know, there has been a lot
of the comments. Somebody was like, they should have called it Morphin, like Morphin into a new company.
There's a bunch of rocks in the runway. You can't get the airplane off the ground.
TranzAct Fin.
And by the way, Richard Smith is my friend. He's not a man that I've done business with before.
But he's never done business with him.
Though it is absolutely the fact that he said some things which I then repeated wound up not being accurate. I own that. I don't blame Richard for that. I own that.
Look at this skirting around like, yes, I did lie to you.
In the very earliest days of launching our business.
That piece of content you made about this, it was really good.
And so
it shows
the thing that I want everybody to
lying
understand with clarity
outright lies
is when I heard my peers on the Leadership Council saying how universally excited they are right now. It's the most excited they've ever been. Jaime, I got to tell you, I was pretty darn excited when I told you could get 39 accounts and make 150 grand a year. That to me was exciting. I mean, that's
a pyramid scheme,
and
Randy.
I didn't see something today that would replace that. What I did see, however, today was something that can last and that can work for a long time. And in my overzealous eagerness to help people who I know need to make money so quickly.
In your greed and desire to get financial freedom. Yeah, you're not helping anybody.
The point is,
my greed. I lied.
Those of you who have been in my various leadership teachings and trainings.
Randy would be the guy that buys like all the Stanley cups and is like selling them for $40,000 each.
The one thing that I find is really occurring.
He has a Stanley eBay store.
A whole
he calls
bunch
them
is
Randy cup.
Here we have our typical member, and if my typical
if you guys are looking for a Stanley dupe, there's a 2-pack at Costco of the Hydro Flask, which are lead free.
You told me that I could.
They have a big straw and a little straw for smoothies. Big straw.
39 accounts.
It's $25 for
$150,000 a year in a bonus pool. Or I'm carrying the baggage of Randy.
They don't leak.
You told me I only had to become a manager, and that only meant I had to be a DVO.
This is when he's gaslighting them. I saw this on your video that you posted on Instagram too.
$6,000 a year. I cannot tell you how much I wish that this picture had been an accurate and true and correct picture. I really wish that was an accurate, correct, and true picture. We now know, as an entire organization, this is not an accurate, correct, and true picture. Okay. We also know that the gentleman who delivered this picture, and I'm not throwing anybody into the bus, but the fact is, the truth is the truth, and that which is measured can be improved. The person who crafted this message that wound up not being a valid message.
Dave, they get excited about the future possibilities.
We will have 100 million cards in people's hands by the end of
this MLM is like the future faking MLM
program.
Nothing is real.
Of the things
it's like on passive,
which wound up not being 100% accurate.
It's always pre-launch, right? Getting the excitement of the possibility of what's to come.
Never a part
and then hang in there. This is going to be a bumpy ride.
That doesn't change the fact that if we rename
you're going to be an entrepreneur.
TranzAct card, that baggage
this is what business is like. You're obviously not a business person.
People are going to be saying, but what about
business is hard. Did you think it would be easy?
And so the decision was made, a very, very pragmatic decision.
Also, why is he coloring in yellow? It's like the worst color
the decision was made to eliminate any possibility of our current enterprise being improperly brushed with baggage that people may be still carrying around.
It's
as
the people
carrying
their baggage. They're the problem with this pyramid
that
scheme.
Were made
not
in the very,
Randy.
earliest days and through the first 4, 5, or 6 months of the rollout of TranzAct.
Outright lying.
And so, what exactly
you
has occurred?
TranzAct card reps.
Is there has been a license
unfair expectations
over here. We have a company that is called TranzAct.
You shouldn't have believed all the bullshit we were telling you.
That's on you. It needs to continue to exist.
It did seem too good to be true.
Because the TranzAct card does not continue to exist.
That's on you.
It would be far too easy and in fact logical.
What is he doing?
To say, well, FinMore is just TranzAct card.
Is that TC for TranzAct?
FinMore is just TranzAct card with a different name, and the primary person who is responsible.
Why wouldn't you just do FM for FinMore?
He's like,
oh my God, FinMore.
I won't say calamity.
Like the ravings of the madman in the cell and misunderstanding.
There had to be a complete, total, and absolute break between these two companies. And so no, FinMore is not simply a rebranding of TranzAct card. FinMore is not an extension or a unit of TranzAct card. FinMore is a brand new company. It is a company that did not exist until just a couple of days ago.
Oh snap!
And FinMore did not license FinMore has contracted for licensed. What is the correct word? I don't want to say an incorrect word.
Copy.
Okay, no one else. Can you guys not see what I'm drawing?
Behind
I'm
MLM,
drawing on the
Randy, I
whiteboard. Are you
helped
guys
you
not
out
seeing
there,
it?
bud.
My drawing is so exceptional.
Is he saying that FinMore is like
Go back over here, stop my
licensing
share for it's too
products from
Gosh.
TranzAct?
Okay,
So
you see?
TranzAct still
So what there needed to
exists.
be was a complete, total, absolute
As like a
separation of
hive.
the two companies. And so essentially, and I'll get this term wrong and I apologize for it. I will clarify it for you and bring it up to speed on Monday so that the terminology is exactly right. But essentially, we have licensed technology. FinMore has licensed technology from TranzAct card.
Oh,
TranzAct card
let's
still
get that on
does
the
exist.
record.
However, a FinMore
We have that on
member no
record.
longer has a business association or relationship with TranzAct card.
Even if they
TranzAct card
delete
is a
this
company.
video,
You can
we still
describe it or
have
think of it
this
as
video.
as a shell company. Seeing yellow and white, you guys. I'm seeing some requests here to see if I can change my color, just for sport.
So they
Does that
just
color
added
work better? That's
another
red.
company.
Can you guys see it better or no?
And they're just
Somebody
licensing
give me a yay or
everything
nay.
from the
You
other
guys see
company.
my red one?
So they're not
Let's do
really
it over.
changing
Better,
anything.
Better, she says. What
They're
happens
just
if I go to
changing the
black? Let's
name
try
to get
this.
away from the videos that you and I make on
Go
social
back. I don't want to
media.
give you guys any nightmares here because
Oh
the
yeah,
message
black.
was used
Black is
before.
a
We're gonna
very
go from
common pin color
good to
when
better to
writing
best as we
on
talked
white.
This
about
fascination
our
with the
banking
whiteboard.
platform
This is how
transition.
you can
And
see
so
this guy's been
I'm not going
around
to do
for
that because I will not
decades.
describe
He's
this
like,
as
oh my
great.
God,
This was
there's a
awful. This was a
whiteboard
little bit
that we
better.
can
This
use.
is okay.
It's great.
That's
You're
where
gonna
I'd say
love
we
it.
are right now.
Watch me
We are
when
a
I do it.
startup company. There's no such thing as good, better, best. What
Is he
there
using
is
a mouse? Do
challenging,
you think,
less
and not like
challenging,
You're
a
right.
screen
as
or an
we move
Apple
forward
pen?
in developing this
It's
company.
true that because
So the
that C
first
is so
question that I
sad.
wanted
It's like
that I saw again and again and again and again is: are we building two companies or are we building one?
Isn't this what
Are we
SBF
TranzAct
did
card
with
members or
Alameda
are we
Holdings
FinMore
and the
members?
FTC?
Here
but
is
with
the answer.
credit card perks
FinMore
instead
is
of
a new
crypto.
company. FinMore has licensed technology.
Can
from
we take that
TranzAct card.
scam and make it
All
dumber?
TranzAct card members and all genealogies, all organizations, all
Genealogists.
structures are now FinMore. And so, Jaime, you don't have to do a
That's-
darn thing.
that's
to
a
cause your
scientist
existing
that
member to
researches
become a
Jennies.
FinMore member.
The
The existing
genealogist.
TranzAct card member doesn't pay anything to becoming a FinMore member. The entire genealogy in its totality.
genealogy,
When
Randy.
you log on to FinMore, your entire genealogy.
He's a
that
Jenny
was your
scientist.
genealogy and TranzAct card. That is your genealogy.
Where's Jenny Wild?
in FinMore, not two companies. Now let's go
Genealogy.
further. The reason this was done, very,
That's how we
very
understand
simple.
Jenny.
Yeah,
We
very
use
simple.
genealogy.
People have misunderstood, and I've had several questions.
No,
several
Gina, you're a
comments that
genealogist.
the
You're a
card
genealogist.
program being introduced, all cards,
I'm a
was a
Juliologist.
bailout
You're a
because debit cards
Robertologist.
are not in place.
He's a
That's not correct.
Randyologist.
That is incorrect, and I wish that the timelines had worked a little bit differently. In America today, 61% of all people
Gen
have credit card
Xology.
debt. And
That's a
so,
good one.
if you have
You
credit
should
card
do
debt,
that.
and I'm looking
That
at
is a
Josh
good one.
Deviking
You
right
should do
now, and I
that,
have absolutely
really.
no
Take it.
visibility into his finances. But Josh, I'm going to use you as an example of America because you're an American. There's a 61% chance that you have credit card debt right now. If you're on that 61%,
So,
well, people are not putting
join our
cash
scam and
into
make your debt
checking
worse.
accounts that they
And
can use
make
debit
guarantee
cards
that over
with. What they're doing
99%
instead
of
is
you
they're
that have
paying down
61%
whatever
in
their
debt in
credit card
the
balance
United
is,
States loses
so they
more
can
money.
then re-up that credit card balance back up to the max.
I learned
whatever
a
it is.
statistic
That's the
today.
life
My name's
experience
Randy.
of 61% of
The
Americans.
Randler.
And so the
The
ultimate
Randler.
objective of the company, the long-term plan, the always plan from when I first heard about it, was to include the all cards program. And of course, you know that when we first were introduced to it, it was called Evermore. It was
Yeah.
never intended that it would
The
be
fact that they used
standalone.
Evermore
It was intended that it would be the
in their
mechanism of preferred
friggin'
use for a person who does
MLM.
not have
Taylor
who
Swift
doesn't have cash to
is
be using a debit
crawling
card.
out of her grave
I
as
mean,
a
Josh,
zombie.
if you're carrying
to
credit
beat up
card debt, you're not
Randy
putting money
right
in a
now.
checking account. That's the truth. You're paying down your credit card and then leveraging it up again until the next payment comes due.
Randy, give us this in a
This was
30-second
designed
elevator
to give
pitch. This is
access
too much. This is
61%
tiresome. It's
of people in
wordy. You're not
America
making any
who would
sense at
not
all.
be using
You're
the debit
protesting
card.
too
It
much.
wasn't a bailout because the debit card wasn't
You're
here.
not saying
Now,
genealogy
it's become
correctly
a
either.
very, very
Not genealogy.
appreciated, underappreciated.
You're using a
Everything after
yellow
that
marker
by and
on a
large, the
whiteboard.
membership is taking it as a bailout or
This
as
is
a
not
callback
professional,
or as
Randy.
a we couldn't get that and so we got
You've been
this.
doing this for how
That's
many
really
years, Randy?
unfortunate. If this were being
What happened to
introduced the way it was
Forever
designed to
Green,
be
Randy?
introduced, with
That's
the debit
missing
card
from
all in
LinkedIn.
your
That's
hand.
what I
Now,
want to
Josh,
know.
imagine
What
you
happened
about
to
already got the
Hanaway?
debit card in your hand,
Yeah,
everything's going great.
Hanaway,
Now you get
Wannabe.
Now you can go and tell everybody
That's
that
the
all those
Tahitian nani
61% of people who've not been able to use a debit card because they don't have any cash. Now that other 61% of our entire population becomes possible to you in your candidate list. You see, had it been delivered
Wow.
that way,
61% of people have credit card debt
What?
because so many
That's
people
really, really
are
good.
enrolling in multi-level
Instead of
marketing companies.
the way that it,
And
the way that it
83%
came
of
across, the way that
people
it came across.
involved
And by
in
the way, I just
multi-level
saw that
marketing
text
in
message. I
Canada
wanted
are
to know.
women. And I bet
coming
you
across as a baby
61% of them have
My
credit
dad-
card debt.
which is something that was done intentionally, right? I
Okay,
brought you
let's
into the
listen to
business
bait and
with
switch
a certain bit of information, knowing full
'Cause
well
it's
that I would
100%
then
a bait and
change
switch.
that information. If there is a single person in this company, if there is even one person in this company who knew that the message we were delivering 90 days ago or 120 days ago was not an entirely accurate message, I don't know who that person is.
I
I
did.
mean, if
me.
there is
That
one
was
person
me.
who was doing
Julie,
that
too.
intentionally, I do not know who that person is.
Me,
I
Roberta
think even Richard
Blevins.
Smith, who I've described as my friend, I
You
think that
guys
he's a
know who I
person
am.
of
I collect the
goodwill
government
and
checks,
intent.
remember?
I think that he's got faults and flaws just like the rest of us do. And this particular mechanism put
Randy's
us
lying.
on those
There
faults.
are people in TranzAct card that have messaged me as well,
Yeah.
and other
I
creators
personally
with
have affection for the
proof
man, and I
that
don't believe that he ever
they knew
intentionally
they
did
were
harm
recruiting, they were
anything to
encouraging other
anybody.
people. They
That's
knew that
what I
this was
think.
going to land.
This is
changing.
far, far, far from a bait and switch. What is a bait and switch? You bring somebody in, but this is what it's going to be, knowing full well it will not be that.
That's what
And then
you
we deliver
did.
something less. No, that is far from
That
it.
is little.
What we
How
have been
far?
trying to do,
Like
I will
this
just speak
far?
now for myself. What I've
How
been trying
far
to do
from
from the
it
first
is it?
moment is deliver a message that is accurate, that is correct, that is legitimate, and that would cause success for other people.
See, now when we
Well,
watch
now
this
we
whole
find
video, we'll
ourselves in
know
this
what's in
environment.
it. So
And
we
my
can pull
advice
things
to
out
every
to
person
create
is this.
videos.
Yes.
If we look at
Because
it,
the
any
bait and
of us
switch
as an
thing.
individual, if we look at this certain set of realities and we say, what does this mean to me as an individual? Then I will get not a very good outcome. When instead I shifted a generation deep. And by the way, if any of you have enrolled even one person in TranzAct card, if you have enrolled one person in TranzAct card, then I would hope very much that you would share with me the feeling of obligation and responsibility that I feel for every person who's joined this business along the way as a result of my guidance. If there is one person who has joined this business along the way as a result of
That's
your guidance,
revolting. Nobody
and I
owes
would
you
hope that you would
anything.
join me in the idea
Obligation.
that is now a
That's
responsibility and an obligation of leadership to take the facts as they now exist
Red flag.
and turn those facts into a legitimate opportunity for positive
All I have is a
financial
feather.
outcome for that person who joined based upon
It's
our
red though,
recommendation.
kind of.
And that is my 100% commitment to this process. And so when I hear people saying, I'm more excited today than I've ever been, I would say I'm more excited today than I've ever been. That's not the truth. What I am today is deeply relieved. I am deeply relieved, Jaime and Cynthia, that I believe we have a mechanism today that is sustainable and that we can help all those people who said yes to you and said yes to me to get the outcome they wanted. Am I super excited right now? No. There's a whole bunch of heavy lifting that we have to do right now to get this message across to people. And any of us who don't do that heavy lifting will find our groups being left behind. This will take a complete overabundance of energy, willingness. I mean, and again, I don't like it when
he's squirming.
The last thing I want to do is refer to myself
His
as
middle name
as
is
an example of
Randall,
success or an
Randy
example of
Norman
correct
Squirmin
behaviors.
Werman Schroeder.
All of us have to become willing to
he's
do right now
desperate.
what I'm doing literally at this
This is
hour.
something to see.
My mom is 96 years old. I see her twice per year. I've not seen her for 8 months. I'm in her living room right now. And I'm talking to you. Right? There are times
Shame
when,
on you. You
well,
should spend time with your
then
mother.
you're the piece of shit, not
sacrifices
me.
must be made. They must be
Go
made.
hang out with your mom. Stop
For
making me
the
feel
simple
bad that
thought
you're
is
wasting
this:
your
if there's
time
one person in
explaining
this
that your
company
pyramid scheme's not a
who
pyramid scheme.
acted upon
Go
your
hang out
guidance,
with your
and by the way, that
98-year-old
person who
mom.
acted upon your guidance might have been your husband or wife who said yes.
I'm going to model this behavior. A true leader. I haven't seen my mother in 8 months, and I'm going to just show up and ignore her and be on a Zoom call with you. And all of you people beneath me should be obligated to do the same thing if you're willing to do the heavy lifting and attain financial freedom.
And so when we look now at the company, once again, the very first question that I've received.
Is it this big, Randy?
The most frequent question.
Or is it this
was
big?
The question of, do I need to be building two companies? Do I need to be qualifying two compensation plans? So on and so on. No, we are in one company. The name of the company is FinMore. We will be receiving commission checks from FinMore. We will not be receiving commission checks from TranzAct card. We will be doing enrollments in FinMore. We will not be doing enrollments in TranzAct card.
Does she leave you love notes?
It is absolutely true that today at this moment, you can continue to use your Z-Bucks.
Abby and I have a whiteboard and we never use it.
in the e-commerce site, which today we call the Z Store. And as we know, that Z Store today is populated only with a very, very, very small number of items, 30 or 40 items that are available in flash sales only and specials. I don't think there wasn't much said.
It's like golf balls and Nike hats, Under Armour flip-flops.
Been called the
3 seasons old Under Armour tank tops for men in size 3.
FinMore marketplace. I want to give you a little more clarity on the FinMore marketplace.
Not the color you want. It's like royal blue or something.
It is going to be a process, not an event.
Like, oh my God, what
so
great
I
deals.
want you, this is my,
and then the cruise,
I think you can own
which
this.
was more expensive than just buying it from
not
the
me,
cruise
not
website.
You. I don't believe that any of us
I have somebody leaving comments on my YouTube. They're like deep into this. They're like,
what we call the FinMore marketplace.
I saved $900 on this cruise.
And the truth
Julie,
is that in Las Vegas, I was embarrassed
like,
by the Z Club. When I walked in the store, I was embarrassed. And in the days that I've logged on
I used
since
my
then,
Stanley nickels to buy down the price of this cruise to retail.
With what the progress has been in the Z Club since the date of Las Vegas. I am now involved at a fairly significant level with conversation with various vendors and so on. And I'm aware of the group that has been hired to populate the site. And I want to give you what I consider to be realistic, not overly hyped,
he uses
but
too many syllables to try to bamboozle
of what we can expect.
I
believe
with
that we can expect by
exclusive
February
relationships
15th
with
to
people, unlike
probably
you peons. I'm with leadership.
10 or 20 times as many items in the stores we have right now. I'm comfortable
I wonder
saying
how
that.
hard it would
We're
be
going to
to
have
like
10 or
translate
20
this into
times
English
as many items in the stores as we have today.
and
now,
then
remember that
put out
today,
like a 10-minute
Josh, I love
video
your
saying
attitude.
this is the
Yeah.
English version
We're
of
having
what you're
10 or
about to
20
watch.
times, 10 or 20.
That's gobbledygook.
I'm excited about somebody
and
who
word
gets excited
salad.
about having 40 or 50 items
This is
instead
English.
of fussing because we don't have 20 million, right? I mean, it is going to take us a while to get from here to there. And if we can all join that simple idea of being excited that we're going from 10 or 20 items to going to 50 or 60 or 200 items.
Then a
I
9-year-old
love
woman
it.
has
I know.
a whiteboard on the
this will
wall.
start getting a little
I'm
easier
making
for us.
something right
By March 15th.
live stream right now.
Remember I said, I don't
Randy's
believe anybody will
inspired
be
me.
embarrassed by the Z Club called the FinMore marketplace. I don't believe anyone will be embarrassed by it on February
It's going to
15th.
be embarrassing, Randy.
February 15th is only a tiny
more
handful of days
embarrassing.
away.
It's
Whiteboard.
Somebody's now sharing a screen, so I'm going to take that back.
Oh,
away.
Randy, what are you going to draw?
Randy, you have a whiteboard behind you. Why do you need to use this whiteboard?
Use classic whiteboard. There we
Oh,
go. Okay. So
Randy,
here's my belief.
I'm getting a
And
seizure
it's
here.
a considered and a knowledgeable belief that we're going to have no people
with a
who
trigger
are
warning,
embarrassed about
flashing
the
lights.
FinMore marketplace on February 15th. I'm not telling you that I think people are going to be excited about it on February 15th. I don't.
Why is he
I
pushing
think, however,
buttons
that
for
they're
no
not going to be
reason?
embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
I think by March 15th, there will be people like Josh who have the positive, happy attitude. Some people like Josh are going to say, oh my God, there's 150 items.
If you have
And
a
that'll be
positive,
really
happy
exciting.
attitude,
Some other
150
people will look at
items
the
looks a
very
lot
same
better
thing
than
and say, oh my
zero.
God, there's 150
Josh,
the
wake
very
up.
same words
He's
can mean
using
a lot
you
of
as an
different things.
example
Okay?
to try to keep other people in
So
line.
those who
Like
have
to be
the attitude and
to
energy
be
of, wow,
completely
it's 150,
transparent, like
you're
the
gonna be
new
excited about March
FinMore
15th.
market has been
The ones that
in the comments that
are
I've
not
read
quite of that same
claiming to
mindset,
have
it's gonna
at
take
least
a
a
little while
million
longer. Let me tell you how
items.
long I think it's going to take.
in there.
I think that we
1
need to anticipate
million
about a
items.
12-month
1
build into the Z
million
Club
items.
or the FinMore marketplace being
million
something that we
TikToks.
can, with confidence, send somebody to that club and not tell them it's still a site in progress. There's only a few items there. I think you need to wrap your arms around the idea that this is
I
going to be
don't
about a
wrap
year-long
my arms
process
around nothing,
as that
Randy.
store continues
Link
to
arms
get
with the idea.
populated. And I'm reading this question.
Link
I'm gonna
arms
get
with
into the
this
text. I'm going to skip over to
idea
the
and
text and
skip
answer a
down
couple
the
of
yellow
questions
brick
that have
road
come
to
along
La La
here.
Land.
Hold on.
150
Okay.
different
Will
items
we
or
still have the travel club?
150
Yes, we will
items
still have the
for
travel
one
club.
product?
Is the Z Club no
That
more?
is
The
a
Z Club
good
is no more. Well,
question that I
at
do
this
not have the
second, it
answer
is
for.
the Z Club, but it is becoming the FinMore
There's
marketplace. These are
18
not two
tank
different
tops,
things. Right?
2
The FinMore
skirts,
marketplace replaces it.
a cruise,
Are there marketing resources available now to
a
help us explain
couple
this
broken
transition to our
Stanley
TCS
cups
future?
nobody wanted.
Here's the absolute truth. You guys can know in advance that I am not running this company, because if I was running this company, then these things would have been available today.
FinMore. It's like
That's not the case. And
Oh, it says
so I would say
FinMore. I
that
thought it said FinNote.
I'm confident that
It
by
does
the
look
time
like
we
that.
get to 1 week from today,
Have that on his
that the
whiteboard.
resources that will be in the back
Promoting it.
office will be
But he's
sufficient.
promoting
Between
nothing
now
because
and
there is
then,
nothing. There's no
we need
substance.
to rely
No,
more
Julie.
specifically on leadership content.
Julie, you're
and so
wrong.
whether it be me or somebody
We're
else,
selling
trust and
these.
respect, and I was going to give you good information.
And once you get this,
I'd
you'll
be,
understand.
selecting a leader or a group of leaders and staying very, very tightly
You're going to link
associated
this
with
to your
them.
bank account.
You will begin to see the collateral items added.
Your Stanley
to
nickels
your
will start
back
rolling
office.
in.
Well, in fact, when the back office opens, you'll see it. But you saw today that the back office, what they say,
Gently
back office will be open about a week from now. That means that you're going to be operating in the dark for up to, today is Saturday, you'll be operating in the dark up until next Friday. So the date when they said the back office was open is Friday. You know, people describe me as being a little overly
Couple of
critical.
beanies
I'm not
that say
overly critical. That
TranzAct
which is
card
measured can be improved. That
crossed
which is
out and
measured
says
also should not be denied.
FinMore.
This company has not yet got a track record of hitting its marks, does it? After we've hit 7 marks in a row, that's when I'm going to say, next
How
time they
many
tell us
marks
the
have you
mark, I
hit
think we're gonna hit it. But
consistently
until we've hit
so
a few
far?
marks in a row, and
7 is the
I've
goal.
wrapped my arms around the idea that we're probably going to have everything on Friday that we were just told we'd have on Friday. We might not. I've wrapped my arms around the idea that it's a startup.
I'll wrap my arms around it so hard. Oh, FinMore,
Okay.
let's go.
This was the next big question. Yes, and yes. Remember that this entire
doubles
mechanism
as a giant
everything
Elamir
is about leading us to the day when we've got the TranzAct
That's
card in
what
our
they
hand.
should
We
do.
swipe the
They
TranzAct
should
card.
create
It is in
edible
the swiping
debit
of the
cards
TranzAct card
that have
itself that
energy
we earn the
in them.
basis points.
So you
And so this
swipe
whole
and
thing
then
is
you
not for me
bite.
about whatever
Swipe and
commission
bite.
Funny
we
you say
earn
that, because
as
he
we
was part
assemble
of
the
a
network.
company and
The
they
way this
had
model
these
was
strips
originally
and
built,
these
and
energy
there have been all
strips.
kinds of
So
bumps in the
I
road.
think
It doesn't
there is
change
some
the fact
kind
that
of
this is the single
connection
best
there.
idea I've seen in my
It's a
career.
good
This is a
idea.
fantastic idea. And yeah, the administration of the idea has been less than
Hello,
perfect up
Amelia.
until now. Well, that's life. This remains the single best idea I've ever seen. People need the money they've got to go further, and people need to
He
have more
doesn't
money.
want people to be
Well,
confused.
the debit card itself, that debit card is the income generating mechanism
Yeah, the
that
income generating
creates
mechanism
the
of the
pure dead
business that you
walk
don't
away
have
money,
yet.
the absolute walk away money.
So if there's no
The other
real
compound
business
components, and what
in
are
this
they?
business, what's
the,
left?
The names and the commissions are all changing.
The
I'm going to use
pyramid
the old
scheme
names.
part of
I
it?
apologize. But the
Isn't the business part what
manager
makes
grant,
it
the money that
legal?
you get when you enroll, actually becomes a manager. So that's not really what it's about. That is transaction-based income. You only get it. So I enrolled Jaime and Cynthia. Jaime became a
Isn't that
manager,
what
and when he became a
sales
manager, I got
is?
$50. But in all the months since
Transaction-based
then,
income?
Jaime stayed a manager, and I didn't get $50 again and again and again and again. And so anything that we only
Oh,
get paid
no.
one time for is not especially good money. And anything we only get paid one time for can go up and go down, up and go down. It can have pretty violent fluctuations. It's hard to plan your family's budget on incomes that go like this. And so, yeah, it's there.
Randy, you're
And by
operating
the
a
way,
pyramid scheme.
there'll also be those. Again, my guess is that my guy
Violent
Josh,
fluctuations are
Josh,
part of it.
My guy Josh, when he saw the
natural part
$30 manager
of
grant,
business.
he might
The
have been
IBS
glad. He
part
thought, wow,
of the
this is
pyramid
actually a
scheme.
raise. He said, wait a
Josh
minute,
is
Randy,
here.
why
Josh
is it a
is gonna
raise?
be
It was
excited.
50 and
Some
it's
of you are
30.
going to be
Well,
excited.
because
but
before
not
you
like
enrolled
Josh.
somebody for $4.95. And when somebody enrolled
Josh
for
has seen the
$4.95, they enrolled
future.
3 others at
He knows.
$4.95. That produced $50.
Josh, wake up. I'm
Well,
rooting
now
for
you're
you,
enrolling
buddy.
somebody at $200. And when they enroll somebody, 3 of them at $200, that produces $30. And so you see the same money in produces $10 more. That was actually a raise. That was not a pullback. It's really, really interesting how people respond to messages, because I've had so many messages saying, oh my gosh, Randy, I just got a pay cut on manager grants. I've not received a single message saying, you know what, I just got a $10 raise, because that is what just happened. Same money in produces $10 more out. And so with every single thing we look at, stop and query
The
yourself.
system doesn't work
and
any
ask
longer, and
yourself
they
the
add
candid question,
additional things
are
on the
you
system.
seeing the
And people are like,
opportunity
hey, the pyramid
here,
scheme's not
or
working.
are
They're
you
like,
seeing
but we
a
gave you
problem?
$10
Exact same
over
thing. I've not
here.
had one person see the truth.
Why are you
I just got a
complaining?
raise. Every person who's commented on the manager grant said, wow, it just got cut from 50 to 30. Not a single person said, you know what, same money in produces 10 more dollars out right now.
Oh,
So
that's
query
because all
yourself.
of them have a
Am I
lousy
seeing
Because
mindset.
no one's making any
possibilities? Am I
money, so
seeing
they don't
what's
see that
good?
there's
Or have I
$10
allowed
more in their
myself, as a
account.
result of life's various experiences, to focus on that might be more challenging. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna do this. Is the debit card still coming? Yes. Okay. Now,
Yes.
on the debit card, I've now got some clarity.
We've
I
been waiting since
understand now.
August
I
for this
didn't
debit card.
understand before.
That's
I know
almost
network
7
marketing.
months.
I don't know banking. And by the way, I'm still
That's
far
more than
from
half a
being
year.
a sophisticated, knowledgeable person in the banking world, but I know a little bit. And here's
Could
what
have
I know.
ended it
But
about
join
the
my
banking
I mean,
world.
if you use your
pyramid
American Express
scheme.
card,
I know
and
nothing
then
about banking,
tomorrow
but
you
join me
decide
in
that
this
the product or
company.
service you
Yeah.
negotiated for was not a very good product or service, you can simply log on to American Express and you can click one button, and you know what? That charge will be stopped just like that. Boom, stopped.
Not really.
That same
It's
thing
not
doesn't
how
occur with
that
the debit
really
card.
works, but okay.
It doesn't. There's fraud protection built in, but it's not the same as
Just
with
go
a
on your
credit
credit card
card.
and be like, I don't want to.
When it is a debit
But
card, there has to be an actual reserve set up by the institution. Because why? Because if a debit card has a fraudulent charge, or someone is dissatisfied with the
Imagine some
purchase
of these
and
people that have
wants the
paid
money back, that exact
$495
same
to
fraud
get into
protection
TranzAct
doesn't
cards,
exist
and you
like it
got
does with
this
credit
guy
card.
now
The financial institution
talking and
must therefore
talking and
be
talking.
careful.
People were just like, I'm
That
going to have
way, they want
8,000
you to
Z
bank
bucks.
today. Yes, we have
This
a bank.
is so
Thanks,
far
Jake.
beyond
Very good.
what
Why
a
don't
lot
you
of
want to
people
open
have been
100,000
preyed
right now?
upon
Because
and
that's not
roped
good.
into
There has
TranzAct
to be
card. Like, this
underwriting.
is so
And the way
sad.
it would need to work, Josh, is
Shame
they need
on
to
you,
do
Randy.
3,000
This is
accounts.
revolting.
And see how many returns there are, see what kind of fraud there is, so they know what to reserve. And after they've had that for a little while, then it can be
Your
10,000.
mother is 96 years old, and this
We
is
right
your
now have,
priority.
by the way,
Pyramid scheme
you
over
all
your
heard me
family.
say this.
Well
I'm
done.
a
You're
very
modeling the behavior.
extraordinarily
This
optimistic
video is
Absolutely.
going to
and
do
I'm still
more
very
to wake
pragmatic.
people up from
There are
these
lots of
commercial
people who
cults
join our
than
company on a
any
message
spiel
that
you could
does
do,
not
because your
exist.
behavior speaks
Some of
louder.
those
This
people
is
will speak here,
ridiculous.
a message that is valuable to them. Remember, I look at it today purely and simply this way.
Also,
Forget everything I
like,
knew about
he's
TranzAct card
bashing
before,
the old
knowing what I
company.
know today about the
Yes.
model today as it
The
is
new
today,
company
this
is
hour,
leasing
forgetting what I first saw.
everything
Would
from
I
it.
join it today? My answer is yes.
Everything that's
If
wrong
you
and
choose
bad.
to make that same decision. Forget what it was.
How do they believe him?
And
when he was extolling the virtues of TranzAct cards so hard, and now it's just
but
gone.
realize
it's like,
that
how do you trust this guy?
We're crossing the bridge.
Yeah, it was a promise scam the whole time, and we knew it.
That we thought, and now we're trying to fix it. Heard about, they're not there anymore. Make a decision to get involved with this company, or make a decision to not be involved with this company, but don't look over your shoulder at the old company. Because the fact is that that doesn't exist.
But isn't the new company utilizing the old company as its business?
That 140,000 because of the reason I just said. If the pot boils, I mean, Carol.
We got to edit this down and just
Morrison,
show all the contradictions.
If the pot boils, Carol has probably never burned anything in her life. But Carol, if you unfortunately overboil the pot, then after the pot overboiled, if you took it off the heat, burn, then the pot wouldn't have as much water in it, would it?
Overboil the water,
total absolute overboiling of this pot back in the October-November period, and we added the
might ruin your pot.
Of that straight
the
up
pot
spike.
might
we
burn.
4,000
water
people
doesn't.
Like he's never. How you don't how do you overboil water?
There's a whole lot of that.
It boils down. It doesn't magically exponentially increase like it does in a pyramid scheme, Randy. Maybe if you had pasta in there, it can boil over. But water doesn't boil over.
Almost a year, we're not going to still be standing. And so I don't think that our population is 100,000 accounts.
You can at least write TranzAct is now FinMore as like.
And so now what is going to occur is this. We'll see a complete total.
Never trust a guy whose 98-year-old grandmother or mother has a whiteboard in her dining room.
I don't. I only know one thing, it's network marketing.
You think that's the dining room? They have like this chandelier you can see.
Reshuffling of the deck, and some people whose names you haven't heard of today will be living at the top of the comp plan in 6 months. And some people who are now at the relative top of the comp plan we won't see anywhere around in 6 months. And so this represents for each of you who may not be at the very, very top of the heap right now. This is your moment of opportunity.
The heap?
Really and truly, no kidding. This is your moment of opportunity. There will be a vacuum at the top. There will be confusion. And there is room for you, whoever you are, whatever you want.
Should there be confusion
the absolute very, very top
in a company that you're investing your money and funneling your bank account through? Should there be confusion?
And stop carrying around the baggage of what was and start instead picking
up
the useful
looking
baggage
at reality,
of what is,
at this
and then crafting and creating business strategies for your organization
so that they can continue to look at us. There are people, more and more people waking up from TranzAct cards.
Where am I going with this debit card idea? Will we get debit cards? Yes, we will.
They're starting to speak out. You better pay attention to that, Randy, because you should be wiping the sweat off that head of yours.
We have another bank that has been contracted and not disclosed. I now completely understand why Peter doesn't want to disclose. I don't think that it's our membership that calls the bank.
It is very robotic.
The Banker Savings Bank contract. There were like so many calls. I won't say a number because it was probably an exaggerated number that I was given, but a staggering number of calls came into Banker Savings Bank asking if they had a relationship with TranzAct card. I don't think that those calls came from our members. Okay, that's where the blame was placed. I don't think those calls came from our members. I think those calls came from our adversaries, people like behind MLM, who wanted very much to disrupt the boat. You know, we
Did
talk
he say
about
anti-MLM?
He said from behind MLM, so he's talking about Oz right now specifically.
You'd like to stop that from happening. And there are plenty of people who have tried to stop it from happening and who will continue to try to stop it from happening. I not only understand, but I respect and I agree with Peter's decision to not make any more disclosure about banks until we're ready to, in one fell swoop, begin doing integration of everybody at one time. That's going to require that we have several banks. Today, there are only 2. There are more.
On the flash sale that only 8 people can actually get.
By the way, I want to talk about a couple of other things.
Oh, you like my shirt? I got it in the FinMore marketplace.
A lot was said.
Where the fuck is that?
A lot was said about the advantages.
Looks like it's from Mervin.
Becoming a franchise, and there are advantages to being a franchise. One advantage
is not a franchise.
One of the big advantages.
I already talked to Doug Brooks about this. And he's like, that's not a franchise. It literally says on the TranzAct card website, TranzAct card is not a franchise.
That's right. It has in their compliance too. Well, I still have that document about their compliance.
Unilaterally, one day changed the plan.
Well,
then he'd be open to the business opportunity rule then.
$275,000
franchise, then let's go.
And the franchise opportunity, and the franchise rule too.
From a stair-step breakaway plan to a unilateral plan. My monthly check was going
so many regulations.
Down to 115.
More than MLM.
115 is great, unless you're used to making 250. And so when I was first told that this would be a franchise, then I would know what the compensation plan that I see today would be the same compensation plan living in a decade from now.
That's the same.
That's very appealing to me.
That's the same.
Very appealing. And I still
not a unicorn farm
am drawn to that idea. And so I am not among those who will not continue to advocate for the company to carefully consider every reason.
What has this man said?
As we continue down the path. The next thing that I was told, and it's absolutely accurate, I've learned, is that there are banks that would be more likely to embrace us as a franchise than as an MLM. That's something that was said in the beginning. That was true.
Well, obviously.
And so there are reasons for us to be a franchise.
There's a lot of financial institutions that would rather work with a franchise in a pyramid scheme, and I can't decide why that would be.
Years ago, and not just one time, but in many of his speeches, he talked about the fierce urgency of now. I want you to know that I am very aware of the fierce urgency of now that many of you are experiencing in terms of your personal finances. Anything that slows the flow of income down one
pressing
day
into people's pain
is not
point,
something
and
that I
this
would
is the only
embrace
solution.
unless I was
Stick sunk
convinced
cost
that by
fallacy,
slowing
stay with
down one
TranzAct
day,
cards,
I
stay
would
with
do
FinMore.
greater good.
61% of Americans have
Right
debt.
now, if
Everybody
we
in
were
here
to
is like panicking. What should I do?
That would slow us down.
That's
It
the
would slow us
fierce
down.
urgency of now that you're
For
feeling
me,
right
a
now.
week is
Julia.
not okay. It would slow us down at least 60 days.
That
That's the truth.
feeling
Because
that
we would
you
have to
feel
get
right
the franchise
here,
document, the
call it
filing
cognitive
document
dissonance.
approved.
It's really
10 states that do not accept the
fierce
standard
urgency
document.
of now.
I will tell you, again, I pushed really hard on this because there's been enough things said that were not true that I repeated. I want to know that I'm only saying things that are true. And so it had been stated that the franchise circular had been delivered to a whole bunch of states.
Literally, and then calls it a franchise. Immediately lies after saying, I'm not going to lie anymore.
Accurate. The franchise document has been delivered.
I might have to make a video of
and
this
that franchise document would allow us to begin functioning as a franchise.
How many times has he said the word franchise? This is
wild. Incredible confusion. Franchise in 40 states and a MLM in the other states.
That's not going to work either.
And so on and so on and so on. If we were to continue down the path of franchise right now, it would slow us down. And there are too many people in my
imagine my
community,
TikTok,
who don't
every
have
time
any
it says
financial
franchise, it's me like with the
slow down
screenshots.
another
It's
6
not a
weeks, another
franchise.
10 weeks,
Like
another
every
12
time.
weeks.
Bing.
And I think that would be completely,
Bing.
totally, and absolutely financially proven. So I will push
His
hard
whole thing would be like
continue the
essentially
franchise
redacted
discussion
because
the
it would
very
just be
moment that
one
becomes
continuous
appropriate.
like air horn.
My view of when that becomes appropriate is when the debit cards themselves are in widespread circulation. Remember, these other income components are designed only to get us to where the debit card starts being swiped.
So the non-existent
So we have
product
first the manager grants. We all
is
know how
what
that
you're
works.
talking
You
about
enroll
now,
a new
okay.
person, they enroll 3. Now they no longer call it a manager grant. They call it a rank advance promotion of $200. Nevertheless, it's 200 in, it's 200 out. That recreates the environment we had with that $495.
They think it's a refund of their investment,
rebate.
but really they're just
it, however, does it
giving
in
them a
such
free
way
month
that,
kind of thing.
And by the way, I will always share with you just the truth. That's not something that I
always share with us the
I
truth,
advocated for the
except for the last 8
why
months.
did I advocate for the higher price? I advocated for the higher price because I mean, Cynthia, I know this to be the last thing that you ever have to do. If you want to do something else in the future, great. I'd like this to be the last thing you ever have to do. And so it's important to me the company make money. I want the company to make money.
But
and so I actually, among those who were advocating for the lower price, I was
you
not
get the
among
double
them.
spending,
even though that added money
dollars to
between
spend in this
what we're
store.
charging and what we were
It's
charging.
full of shit
that
nobody
the company
wants.
kept it all. There's no commissions paid on that.
That's
I
how they
advocated
got
for
it in the
higher price
first
because I don't ever want to start over again. Whole lot of work. And the company and everybody else has assured me that they can float the boat and they can make it work. It's really easy to criticize this company. Really, really easy.
They've assured me they're going to find people. So I'm good. We're good on this.
We should not criticize the company for the fact
that
they were paying manager grants 10 levels deep since we started. Even the comp plan only said 4, right? And that was a gift. That was because they realized money needs
200 in, 200 out is
we
zero.
should not criticize the company because they have chosen to forestall the franchise idea right now because they know that would slow down the flow of income.
Not a franchise.
We can look at both sides of all of these coins. There are some things that we can criticize this company
if you guys are watching this on Discord, or not Discord, on
I personally am remarkably
Patreon,
grateful
and you want to
for the
join,
fact that
just
they
go to the
chose
YouTube page and
make
you'll be able to join in a
the
chat.
All Cards program the marquee.
Otherwise, it just leaves comments.
Because as a result of
Patreon.
making the All Cards program the marquee, that takes the pressure off of the debit swipe. Right? The 2 programs that have been introduced, that being the Flourish program and the
Flourish
All Cards program.
That's the
Those 2
Teledoc
programs in
$50
combination
prescription
completely
discount
replace
program.
the income generation that
Financial
would be created
literacy
by card
too.
swipe.
They offer
The challenge
financial
is they don't
literacy.
replace it immediately. Okay, Cynthia.
I mean, I
we
guess
were
if you
swiping the
have
cards
so
right
many
now,
prescriptions
swiping
that
the
you're
debit
spending a
card
ton,
would
that
fund the community
adding a
bonus pool,
$50
and a
thing
person
to
could get paid
mark
more money
down
more
your
quickly.
prescription
Because why? It's just
might
because
be a
the
deal,
pool
but you don't have to
is
join
letting
a
you get
pyramid
paid for
scheme
volume
to
you didn't
get a
create.
subscription plan.
And so we can start.
I don't
the
spend
income
more than
wheel
$50 a
turning,
month on
but we
prescriptions,
can't
so I don't need
create
that.
bump in income. where you're getting paid an over amount of money for small productivity. The pools are what do that. And the pool is funded by what? By the swiping of the card.
Scheme pool.
This is FinMore's website.
Program and
this is what I got. That's it.
Did you go to TranzAct card?
Equal
and
more
redirected?
and is possible in the community bonus pool.
Because I believe TranzAct card is still up. It was yesterday.
While it's more money, it's not more money in the shortest period of time. And if you were to qualify, Josh, you know this. You qualify for the bonus pool if it was delivered as originally proposed, then with relatively small productivity, which actually you could create in 30 or 60 days, begin generating a large income. Why? Because you're getting paid for what somebody else did. There's nothing we can do with the current mechanism that allows you to get paid for what somebody else does. That is made possible by the swiping of the cards, and those cards are simply not in widespread distribution
right now. The cards that don't exist?
So what I'm sharing with you all right now is the exact candid truth about why that particular compensation plan component cannot be funded right now.
Because it doesn't exist.
It will be funded.
If the cards ever show up, we're still waiting.
Just said that
7 months and waiting.
Understand the comp plan. So that's another issue altogether.
Imagine joining for this income thing 7 months ago.
Can I find my text stream
and waiting 7 months, thinking that you'd be getting $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month at this point, and you still don't even have cards yet.
That you'd like to have a compensation plan training done. That is the way to do it. I can tell you that as a result of these changes, modifications, changes to the changes of the things that we changed, then those various videos that I recently created, most of those will have to be completely redone. So I'll redo those really soon. And I intentionally, you might notice that when I created that video library a few days ago, you might notice that I did not create a comp plan video. And that was because of this, because I couldn't. And even now, now the comp plan is what it is. I won't.
He just said I couldn't make a video about a comp plan because of this, thereby admitting that he knew this was happening all along. Earlier on, he said nobody knew this was happening. This just took me by surprise too, and he just admitted that he knew.
Yes, of course.
Again, yet another contradiction. Look at him moving around. This man is guilty as sin.
I feel like we could take this video and cut it up.
Very worst.
And then juxtapose all of the contradictions. Like we never knew. And then boom, 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 boom.
Overconfidence. Failure to recognize the amount of work required to get across certain hoops.
Just would be a lot of work.
If $50 has been earned, of course you'll be paid those $50. And by the way, if there is anyone who still has commissions that you have not received, then all you need to do is log into the back office. There are people that haven't been paid their commissions yet. If you have not submitted a 1099, it will then notify you that you must. If you have submitted a 1099, the check will come. And also,
people have been leaving comments on one of this guy's videos on YouTube, and he's deleting them. I'm getting screenshots of it. And other creators have been like posting it in their stories and stuff like that. And so good for you if you are in TranzAct card FinMore and you're starting to openly challenge this guy and other people. Good for you. You're not alone. A lot of us out here have been scammed too, and we're speaking out, helping spread awareness.
Pull back that timeline. In the next handful of days, you'll be able to receive your check ACH, whether it be the first check that you've received in FinMore or whether that be a check that you still have being held at the company. Okay, so there's no reason for anybody to not receive any money.
And yet it's happening.
And yet it's happening.
Hi, what time did this startup here? It's called Relationship Marketing.
He's got to look at his list to make sure he's getting to all the word salad.
Exactly.
Okay, so the question here, I have one DBO under me and she has two DBOs.
Okay.
And so, yes.
Not a manager yet.
When you add just one FBO, she is then a manager. Are we now an MLM? Yes, we are now an MLM.
You were always an MLM dumb fuck. Always.
Once again, I want to be very clear on
You're a pyramid scheme.
The decision
You've
about
always
becoming
been
a franchise is not made right now as we speak. I want you to know that. I mean, I'm in the conversations and there's debate on both sides of the equation. I would prefer that it become a franchise. And I will argue that it become a franchise. I am one voice. Your voices also matter. If you want to be a franchise, let the
Randy,
company
you're
know.
deluded as fuck. This is never going to be a franchise. This is absurd.
I will tell you that opinion is not an opinion that probably makes a lot of difference.
Will ever become
because
a franchise.
we need 6 months. We need to get the cards in people's
The laws
hands.
in place
we need to get
on
the model
franchise
working. It would be a tremendous mistake for us to try to add that to our mix right now. Anything that slows down the flow of money into people's hands right now is the last
There's
thing
no
that we
way
should
this
do.
could ever become a franchise if what they're
Okay,
trying to
come
do
down
is
here.
build a
The next
pyramid.
question.
They don't work like that. They're completely different business
Okay, so
models.
one of the biggest attractions for business builders was the community bonus pool of the lowest rank advancement. What happens now to replace that, Mark? I hope I answered that a couple of minutes ago. There's exactly nothing that we can do to replace that today. The
Right,
income
because
components
that's
that come
a
from the Flourish
pyramid
program and that
scheme.
come from the Flourish program and the All Cards
Dang it.
program, those two income
Wow.
components do replace
This
it
guy is
in
jittery
order of
as like
magnitude.
I
They
am
more than
so
replace
this
it,
is so
but what they
sloppy.
don't
Like
do
this
is
is
replace it in
panic.
terms
This
of
is
timeline.
reactive. This
There's
is
literally
like
nothing
trying
that
to
we can
stem
do to
the
begin
flow
funding that bonus
of
pool until
people
the cards get
fleeing
into
this
people's
pyramid
hands.
scheme.
Okay, and so now we go down further, and the question again was raised: and when will the
Dave
cards
makes
come?
a good point.
Folks,
We're
I
a
would
franchise
like
that's
you
not an
all to
MLM. That's
stop
now an
and
MLM
ask
that will
yourself
become
this
a
question.
franchise in 30
Would you
states next
rather, now
Tuesday,
imagine
except
for a
in
moment
Maine,
that,
where the
that you've
franchise
crossed the
wait
bridge,
list
you're
is
going to
too
build this
long.
business, and now you've got a group. Would you rather that your
You heard
group
it here
is
first,
discussing
folks.
what we have today, or would you rather that your group is talking
just
about
the
what we
wait list
don't
is too
have, and
long.
we
We
don't know
tried.
exactly when we will have? I
tried.
have a firm timeline in my mind of when I believe the card is going to be delivered.
I
think it would be a
wanted it
mistake
to
for
be
me to tell you
now,
that
but
timeline. I don't think anything is to be gained by that. I think that if we are involved in this company right now, FinMore, we should be involved in this company based upon the offering as it exists today. If you don't want to be involved in the company with the offering as it exists today, and I will tell you, my guidance is to stand down, stand by, and watch, because you'll be nothing but daily frustrated about what we don't have. My own decision to be involved
The
with
BS is
FinMore is
strong.
because of the offering that we heard about today, and because of my 2 weeks of other information gathering about that offering. I am not involved in
Again,
this company
knowing
because
what
of
was
something
going to
I think
happen
they're going
before
to have in
anybody
the
else
future.
did.
yeah,
That
2
is
weeks
a,
at
that is a
least.
recipe for frustration.
They knew
So
that this
study
was switching and
the
they still were
offering that is
recruiting for
available
TranzAct
today.
card.
Decide for yourself if this offering is something that will help you and your family
Is
today.
it going to be an orange card? And when is that going to come? And
Discussing
all
the
these
offering
people
as it
still
exists
never
today.
ever
If you
received
don't
their
like the
little
offering
green
as it
card.
exists today, then I
The
will tell you, I
first
believe
offering.
that
There was
will be
somebody I
steady,
saw on
constant,
Facebook. She had
consistent
posted a picture of
improvements,
herself with a
and
TranzAct
engage when
card.
you feel it
All
becomes
these
right.
people were like, "Where
Now
did
the
you get
question
that?"
here, so for
She said that
commission,
was
up
with the
to
original
500,
offering,
1500,
and no,
12
I never
still
got
on.
another one.
Yeah, I mean that's the
She
same.
was
We have an
using
orange
it.
card
That's not changed. What's changed is the
or a
time of
green
the
card.
delivery of that bonus pool. For people who came in but understand that one, but about what about new people?
It'll probably be orange.
Will they get fair commission or different comp plan? Any person who enrolls today, well, they can't enroll today as we know. And so again, I just want to say this. Will anyone get fair commission? If I did not believe that the future
Commission.
TranzAct, FinMore
Not an MLM,
compensation
no.
plan was fair commission, I would tell you that right now. I would say, guys, let's
No,
go
you
find
wouldn't,
something
because
else
you're
to do.
scamming people.
I
You've
would.
been in multi-level
I
marketing
want
for
you all
so
to
many
know and
years. Your
understand
head
this.
is so
My
far up your
emotional
ass.
commitment
You
is
don't
to
know what
people who have
daylight
said yes
is.
to me.
Like
My emotional
being a
commitment is not to
president
this
of a
company.
multi-level marketing
And it's
company.
not just
I
people
saw
who
this
said yes
article.
to
I
me.
think
If
it was
you're
with
on here right now,
Encanaway.
you're
They're
turning
like,
to me for
oh,
leadership
he
and guidance.
chose
My
to
emotional commitment is to
retire
you.
from like
My emotional
the
commitment is not to this
financial
company.
freedom of being
And
a
if I
rep
didn't believe
and
this
got a
company was doing that,
JOB
which was
with the
required to
company,
make
with the
this a win for
MLM.
you, I would tell you
And
that.
that's how they twisted it.
Some of you don't know
Same
me
as
well
way a
enough to
lot
know
of these
that's the
other
truth. Timing, you
multi-level
do, don't
marketing
you?
participants
You know,
get hired by
absolutely.
corporate.
If
That's
I
how they
didn't believe
framed it.
that we could make
This
a
guy
big
has
win out of
bounced
this,
around in
and that we could honor
various
every
multi-level
promise
marketing
we've made to
companies.
people, then I would have already told you.
I feel
Timing,
like Bonnie
thank you for trusting
Patton
me. You know
and
what?
Katie
This
Daffin
was a swing
made
and a miss.
emails about this, like
It's not the truth.
ASAP.
That is simply not the truth. I will tell you the truth that a couple of days ago, about 2 weeks ago, when I went to that leadership council meeting in Salt Lake, I felt like
So all of this
I felt
happened
like
2
I
weeks
was
ago in Salt
standing in
Lake
the
City
batter's
when they had their
box with
meeting.
And
two
that was at
strikes.
their,
I did.
everybody
I
was
felt
so
that way.
excited. The
And
TranzAct
I
card
saw that picture
participants. So
staring
these
me
guys
down.
were already
But
planning
the
it,
fact
knowing
is
going
that
on
I
in the
feel like the
background,
company has delivered something
betraying
that we can
all
win with.
these
It's
good,
not going to be easy, but
hardworking
I believe
people
we
that
can
are
win.
believing what
Do we
they're
have to
saying.
start all over to
Well,
become
they
commission
lied right
qualified?
to
No,
their
you do
faces.
not.
And
But we
now
will
here he
enroll
is
members when
squirming
they
around, rocking back
start.
and forth, pushing up his glasses,
Sorry, you
wiping the
cannot.
sweat off his head.
However, what I
This
will
is
be doing
pathetic.
is gathering all of the needed data. And I also promise you this, I will continue to work
Stop
to
promising.
make the user
Yeah, stop promising.
experience a more friendly experience in our company. I don't
My
know if it's
experience with
because we're a
TranzAct card and
bank.
their
I
members
don't
has
know
not been
why.
friendly.
The
No,
fact is
me
that the
neither.
user
And
experience
it actually
in
went
this company
against
has
their
not been something
policies
that I've
and
been very happy
procedures. They're
with.
not supposed to be
I'm trying to
interacting
get
with
any sort of response
negative
from
posts.
customer
They're
service,
supposed
of
to
course,
be
has been a
replying it. And I'm
frustration
like,
for
that's
most
really
of
interesting.
Then finally
All
getting
of
a
it- all
response
of
and
those,
having it maybe not be as polite,
participants
cordial, or fun,
violated
or
their
acting like they
policies
care
and
about what we're
procedures.
experiencing. The user experience itself has a lot to do with satisfaction when people aren't yet making any money.
You know what
our
they say
user
about
experience
satisfaction, Randy?
has
You can't
been,
get no.
You can't get
something
none,
far
no.
less than what I would consider to be appropriate. Going straight down to the questions. Do we still have 26 influencers, and when will they be announced? Angie, this is the God's honest truth. I don't have a clue. I literally have no idea. I can
Are they
say that
talking
the
about the My
influencer
Pillow
program
guy?
exists, and that I am involved with 2 that I believe I'm going to get involved with the company, because those are the only ones that I'm
Let's see
personally
these
involved with, the only
influencers.
ones where I'm engaged in the conversations.
It's Mike Lindell.
I've been bitten hard enough with the chatter of things being said that wound up not being 100%. I will only say
Kid
things that
Rock
I know are true.
and
I
Ted
will say that I'm
Nugent.
currently involved with 2 of them that are big names that I think are going to get
They're
across the line.
huge.
The fact that I think
Big
it doesn't
They're
mean
Taylor
it's
Swift
well, but I
disruptors,
will
so
tell
it
you
makes sense.
That's right.
the project is one that is not hard to sell. And so when we have a final offering right now, the 2 that are
You
waiting
can't talk
on
about user
me
experience when nothing
is
in
to
the
bring them
company
the
is
final
ready.
offering that was only delivered
What's
to
the
you
user
to us
experience
today.
on the
And so
swipes?
this coming week,
Yeah.
I'll bring that
Oh, you don't
final
have
offering
cards?
to people and let
Okay.
them know the exact timelines and hows and whens.
You know,
But
these people are
here's the
buying
reality.
gift cards
Remember that those influencers, how
to
are they getting paid?
collect these
They are getting
shroot
paid on
bucks
swipe fees. The
and hoarding
All
shroot
Cards program
bucks
does not create
and
swipe
buying
fees.
everything on
Therefore,
gift
you
cards.
can know that you are going to see no influencer cards before we have cards.
How embarrassing.
Right? And so I would
Yeah.
probably take those influencers out of the dialogue as well, because I'm telling you that I am not going to count on having those cards in
Things I
circulation
said,
in less than 6
which
months.
ended up not being
I do believe they're
100%.
coming. In fact, I know they're coming, but I'm not going to talk about it in a timeline shorter than 6 months, because I don't want that to be the ongoing, never-ending questions. I believe that.
I think, Randy,
if you
I got
talk
some
to
advice for
us
you.
on board,
I
believe
think
that.
you'd be much
I
better
also
off
am
drawing
not
more
anticipating that
little
those cards
figures
are
on your
gonna
whiteboard. That would
dramatic
be much
course
more
for several
entertaining.
months.
I know I'd be more
Next
entertained.
question.
Like a fruit
Do the
ninja
swipes pay
fight.
the same as before, as in basis points based on
Here
rank?
comes the
Yes,
strawberry.
Dak, but once again, swipes are paid on what? Swipes are paid on TranzAct cards. Swipes are not paid on all cards. So the answer is yes, when the card is back in our hand.
The answer is yes.
Do we need to complete?
What card?
Do we need to
though,
complete?
bitch?
No, you're
What
a
card?
customer on
The
TZ
ones
app.
that don't
You have to wait.
exist?
Do not do it on the TZ app. I mean, you can. Actually, if your number has come up,
He's like,
and
I
it's
was not
green
prepared
on
for
your
this
screen,
conversation.
log in and do it. If your number has not yet come up, then there's nothing you can do. But if you complete it on the TranzAct card app, you will not need to complete it again on the all cards side, or on the FinMore side. However,
There's
when we
too
get
many
the banks, so you know, when you get your
So is
TranzAct
the
card,
TranzAct
that
card
will
and the all
require
card
an
the same?
additional KYC. You will do it again.
Because now you have to
So one
pay
KYC
like
was
$5
required
a
for all
month to use
cards.
the all card.
Those KYCs that are going on now, right? A week or so ago, people got all excited. Oh my gosh. we're
Unless
doing
you're a
KYC.
legacy member, then it's
And because
free
it
for the
wasn't
next
properly
year.
explained,
Or no,
why,
it's half
it wasn't
price for the year.
then they again, it wasn't saying something that wasn't true, but it was leading
Yes,
people
it
to the
was.
conclusion that wasn't accurate.
Liar.
Leading-
Pants on
It
fire.
was
Led to
leading
the
people
conclusion
to
that I'm
a
about to get
conclusion that
right.
wasn't accurate.
That was another example of the communication
That's not the definition of
being
lying. Some people
dishonest,
are just carrying
but
around
not being
baggage.
clear, and it could lead one to arrive very easily. And what was
Could
the
lead
logical
somebody to
conclusion?
arrive to
And
something
so
that
I
isn't
have
what it
begged the
is.
company, to please make the communication such that they cannot be misunderstood.
Nanit,
It would have been
Nanit, nanit.
harder
We
to
got
understand it
fans to
correctly
the
than
left,
to misunderstand
fans
it
to
the way
the
it was
right.
described. That wasn't intentional deception. It was poor writing.
Rip
The
Jimmy
good news
Buffett.
is that poor writing can be easily overcome. If I purchase the 50% Flirt subscription, does that count and make me commission
Oh
qualified?
my God, I
Yes,
have
it
to use
does.
that song for
It
FinMore
seems
content.
TCMs can't enter the TranzAct card page, but DVOs can.
Oh my God.
You know what? I am only a DVO, and I'm not tried to log in on a TranzAct on a TCM page, so I can't answer that
You
question.
misunderstood.
Are we still getting
It was just poor
influencers? I
writing.
think I've answered that.
I wasn't lying. It was just
I am
leading people to a
working very hard at
conclusion that wasn't
That, by the way, is an opportunity that's available to all of us. I don't have any special imprimatur or nothing. If you know somebody who has input, that's a person who should be
How
introduced
dare
to
you?
the program. And
How
by
dare
the
you
way,
say I was
if
lying?
this
It was an innocent leading of
probably
inaccurate
just about the truth.
information.
I kind of wish that I was hearing about TranzAct card 2 weeks from now.
Oh,
I'm trying to do
2
because
weeks from
I wouldn't-
now,
I wouldn't have to come back behind and clean up all this mess. You know?
you would have
First,
more
let's
mess to
seize
clean
the
up in 2
offering
weeks,
as it currently
Randy.
is. If I could somehow snap my fingers and cause every person to drop the baggage,
He is
Well, wait a
so
minute.
jittery.
I
Is
can make-
this
I
his
can make
normal
$3.
body language?
I
Like,
can
I'm
make
just
$3 through
like,
10
he is-
generations per enrollment.
Don't
on
look
that Flourish
behind the
program, and
curtain.
that's $3
Yeah.
through 10 generations. That adds up to a whole lot more money than anything that we don't get right now. That's a really cool thing. My emphasis
he's
has
just,
been
like,
this.
high
When
on
I was,
adrenaline right
when I
now?
was at the very
Yeah.
edge of my ability,
And like
to-
dopamine and just
to-
like all of
Maybe.
these natural chemicals.
I mean,
'cause he's
understanding we
so-
call ourselves a
he's
social
so
impact company.
ADHD.
He's
There are people
so
in my life
elevated.
who have
I
been
think
hurt
he's
because they-
freaking out. Like, I think this
Right.
man is guilty as sin, and he's terrified he's going to be
And I want you
losing
to know
whatever. Like this
is
whole shift
literally-
from TranzAct card to FinMore. I think he's
My
panicking
entire
so
effort
much so that
has
he
been
has
to
to
create
be
a
at
mechanism
his
where those
mom's
people
house.
who believed in me
Like,
because they
He
needed
had to
money
move
now
in with his mom
wasn't
and
because they
put
wanted
up
to make
his
a fortune,
whiteboard
because they need to
permanently.
pay their bills. That's where my primary interest is right now. I'll get back, Jaime, I promise you. I'll get back to being concerned with those who want to make a fortune. That's just not what
I'll
it's
get
about. for me
back
right
to
now.
those
Right now,
concerned
it's
with
about
making-
getting people's light bill paid. It's about
That sounds
getting
like a
rent
Yeah, he
paid,
definitely needs a hot
car
tub
payment
time
fat,
paid,
machine.
hairy
paying for
income
child.
claim there.
And we can do that right now with the back end of this compensation plan. We can do it with the $3 10 generations deep. We can do it with the $30 manager grants. We can
But like
absolutely
even when I was
meet
trying
those
to
needs
explain
right
how
now.
you get paid on everything,
And the
like
thing that I would
some of
encourage
these
you
things
all
you
to
only
do
get
is to
30
remember-
cents per person.
And by the way,
If you
my
qualify.
last harsh commentary with the
Like how
company
many people do you need
was,
to
you
have
heard him say
enrolled
today, we're going to
at
pay all
30
February
cents a
commissions on
person
March
per
15th.
month?
I promise you,
30
I
cents.
may not be able to change that. I will fight that
You're not
every
gonna be able
single
to change
day.
it, dude. That's like
Every single
literally
day,
how that
I will
works.
fight that. Because if you earn a
You're an
commission
idiot.
in the
You
first
know
week
exactly
of February,
how it
I want
works.
you to
Don't
get
lie.
paid the first week of February. I don't want you to wait until March 15th. And the fact that I'll fight it doesn't mean that I'll win the fight. But I guarantee you I'll fight it. Because I know
His
there are
mom
people
is like, I'm 96.
and it's
Jesus
$50
Christ, Randall.
maybe
Just
need it.
visit your mother.
And so my effort will be to get
His name is
those payments
Randis.
accelerated right now. And tell you, what are they doing about gift cards? Once again,
Gift cards.
the company owns the fact that they selected a horrible vendor, and that horrible vendor did not have the proper. And see, the fault
Well,
here
because of
is
all
not
the
the
fees on the
blame.
gift cards.
company selected.
funny,
It was
the
like
like, all this-
$3.
the decision maker who
It
selected.
was
the
like
vendor.
$3.50
The
to
vendor
even be
didn't
able
have
to
the
buy
proper,
a gift card.
Are you
fraud
serious?
protection built into the system.
There was
We
like
had a big
you had to
hit.
pay a
This is little
fee to
company,
load
and,
money,
they may
and
not
then
be
you had
happy
to
if
like
they
pay
say
a
this
fee
more
to
than
like use the
$100,000
card or
fraud.
so like yeah.
And that for a company our size, that's
It was
a
like
great
$3.50
deal.
per
Really
gift
big
card.
deal. And so will the easy
fees.
cards come, easy power cards come back? Yes, they will. That
And people are
also
buying
is
like
not a
$50,
front burner
$50,
issue right
$50,
now. The
$50,
front
and
burner
it's like
issue right
$3.50,
now is to
$3.50,
get the
$3.50,
new back
Oh,
office
no.
introduced and to get those two primary commission components paying. That is the issue right now. And
There's so much
not a lot of
blame in
time and
this. You
attention
know,
being
it's funny.
spent on
Somebody left a
anything that
comment
doesn't
on
get the
one of the
income wheel
videos,
turning
and they were
right
showing
now.
that. They said,
And so
you know, they'll
your question,
tell
why did
you
the easy
you need to
card
have a
go away?
positive
The easy card went
mindset,
away because
but
of
yet
budget
they're the
law.
very first
The
to
easy
be
card will
blaming
come back. It will.
TranzAct card.
can't
Oh,
tell
I'm
you
not
the date.
saying
I
Richard
don't think
Smith.
it's a
He's
long
my
time
friend,
away.
and
It's not like
I'm just
I'm
taking it
telling
all
you,
on me.
I think
They're all a bunch
I don't
of
expect there to be
liars, and they just
legitimate
keep
dialogue
shifting the
about
blame to everyone else except
I'm not going to
themselves.
be talking
This
to
guy's
people about
squirming so
timelines
hard,
on the
he knows
cards that are
exactly
inside
what's going
6
on.
months. The easy power card
like
should
a
not
little
take anything
worm.
close to that.
He
That one should be
is.
relatively simple. As soon as we get past this immediate moment, just this instant moment
As soon as we
of
get
being
past
able
this
to
little
pay commissions
speed bump,
on the manager
and we
grants
can
and
finally
paying
start
commissions
paying
on
people.
whatever the commission was described.
Who are you going to
on the
blame
back
when
end on
this
the
one
first
folds,
programs.
Randy?
100%.
This is
everything
your
about
creation
that.
with everybody
What
else
happened-
who's involved
Okay.
in this.
Is there a new
Yeah,
app
he just
for
said
FinMore?
everything's
Yes,
about to
there
happen.
will
So
be a
what
new
happens if
FinMore app.
everything doesn't happen?
What will be
Yeah,
the benefit
exactly.
of
Whose
the
fault is it going to be
FinMore?
then?
Once again, I described this a little bit before, but the advantage, and by the way, there are disadvantages too. So I
Well,
could
there's a
live
lot
on
of
either side the argument,
disadvantages.
right?
You can
The
watch our
advantages
videos.
are that there are lots of people. Lots of them. I've been among the most successful people, most fortunate people in the network marketing industry for a long time.
Oh, were you the number one
Oh.
network
So the
marketer
industry
of
is
all
not
time
something that
too?
I'm afraid
Everybody's
of,
the
that I
number
think
one.
is bad.
Oh my
Lots
God.
of people have
That's
decided
why I
I'm
got
not
involved in
doing
network
one
marketing.
I am not doing a network
Network
marketing
marketer of all
company,
time.
period.
Have you heard of Randy
I've never
Schroeder?
had somebody say, Randy,
Do
let's
you
not
know
go to a
him?
Subway
Yes, I
shop.
do.
He's the
That's why I
number
got
one
involved.
network marketer of all time.
And so I personally think that there is
He's
value
been
to
that
being
for a long
franchise.
time.
I think you'll get a lot
He's
more
a
eyes
network
on it.
marketing
I think that it is
disruptor.
true that there'll be a little bit easier access to more banks, consistency of compensation plan, more eyes.
In the financial
and
MLM
improved
sector,
legitimacy.
Randy is
All
the
those
most
things are true.
successful
You know what else
financial
is true?
MLM.
What else is true is
rep
that the day this becomes
of all
a
time.
franchise, then Carol, if you would enroll somebody today, you would have no chance to enroll them as an FBO because there's a 2-week wait period. And so the only thing you can do is enroll them as a TCM, and then they'd have to wait for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later,
It's not
say if they still want
TCM,
to
it's an
enroll,
FM now. You're already mixing
that
up
2-week
your
cooling off
acronyms.
period
Mixing them up.
completely takes
It's an
away.
FM.
I didn't even know what
the
they are.
strategic willing to
FM.
build
It's
a
not
development.
And so
TCM.
wait,
Takes
is
away
he
the
saying that if
possibility of
you
bringing people to
join
presentation
as
that
a
night, having
member,
them get enthused? I mean, I've had
you
plenty
have
of
to wait
people join
2
me today
weeks
and get,
before you can join
I've got
as like
3
a
people
rep?
enrolled to be a manager
If you
tomorrow.
don't
That's what I
immediately
understood.
join as a
For
rep,
franchise, that
Yep.
stretches that timeline out
there's
2
a
weeks.
2-week
So the absolute truth is that I
switch
can make
period.
a compelling argument for either side of the equation. and I can come down.
Which is
happily
like,
on
you might as
either
well just
side.
join now, because if you love
I
it, you don't have
can't.
to wait 2 weeks.
The reason that I'm more, and the reason I will push
Michelle and
for
I talk about
franchise
this
right
waiting
now
period thing.
is
It's
because
interesting
that's
that
what I
they're
told people to
utilizing
do.
this, but they're
It's
using
not
it in a
because I like it
FOMO
more than
way.
MLM.
Yeah.
I can make an argument for either side of that. It's because people joined me because I told them that's what it would be. I wanted the things that I said to be true.
I
And so
wanted
as
the
many of
things
the things that I
I
said
said
in the
to be
beginning
true.
that I can help the company make true,
One of
that's
the
what I will
things
do.
I said to
Even
be
if I may
true.
not, I wasn't in love with the idea of a franchise when I was selling it as such, but
It's
because I brought people into the
not a
business based on
So
franchise.
that,
that's excellent.
that's
You
what
are
I want to make
already
true. I hope that
knowingly
makes sense to you.
violating
There are several
TranzAct Card's
other
policies
things
and
that
procedures, because
companies
it says
don't
very
do.
clearly in there and in their compliance, it is not a franchise. You can't say it. So you
Now,
are already
if
violating
decided
it, but who
if we
cares?
said
Because there's
that,
no accountability.
that's truth.
Nope.
And the only
Whatever
way
gets
that
people
should
to
be
sign on the
different
dotted line
if
is
something we
fine until
said
the
was
FTC
simply
shows up.
invalid, and that new knowledge, new understanding makes
Randy
it
has the whole world in his hands.
He's the
If
number
it's
one
just-
debt
if
card
we
bonus
said it,
point
my belief is we make it true,
accumulator
if
network
it can be
marketing
made
lord in
true.
the
And
universe.
so that will be my
You have
greatest
to be
example.
very specific.
Okay, when cards come, will it be TranzAct card or FinMore card? FinMore card. Are the card names and logos and websites all going to be updated? Yes.
What about all my
how do we promote
banners
the
and
company now?
business cards I bought?
For me, no difference.
I've found
How do we
like
promote the
6
company now?
people that
What
have
did
already
I bargain
complained to the
for when
fact
I
that they
first said
bought
yes? For the
shirts,
idea that if a
banners,
person were
business
to join our
cards,
company, they could extend their
tablecloths
buying power.
to sell
And
this
so
at
tell me this, Josh
fairs
the
and
Viking,
markets
is
and
it
stuff.
not true?
And then they
That if a
changed the
person
name.
registers the
And they said
cards
they're
in their
out
wallet,
thousands
that
of
when they
dollars.
swipe it, they
Oh.
get $Z.
That's a
So
shame.
that's what they bargained for, right?
And that's
What they
not your
bargained for.
business. You
And
don't
so
own
that
your
side of it
business.
is no change. The
Right.
only change in my marketing already changed, because when it became evident to me, if we go back to November, it was obvious in November we didn't have the cards in people's hands. And so that meant the community bonus pool couldn't be there. And so the only thing really that has changed in my marketing message is that I'm not talking about the community bonus pool, except I'm talking about a future introduction coincident with
Future
when we have widespread
thinking.
distribution of our own debit cards as opposed to the all cards program. The other parts of the comp plan, let's remember that I got
People are
involved with the company
watching
on June
this and they
15th.
want to
You
be
got involved whenever you
soothed
got
and
involved.
reassured
Since that
because
time,
they
how have I
know they're
received income?
experiencing cognitive
Well, I
dissonance.
received a return
And
of
there's so
capital
much
with a rebate.
scrutiny
And so
on
now we
these
just got
guys
told that
on
as
this
soon as they turn the
company,
system back on,
and they're
you
watching
enroll
this, and
somebody,
it
you
doesn't
enroll
need
them
to
as
make
an
sense because
FBO,
it's just like they
and
just
they
want to
get
be
not a
reaffirmed
rebate,
in
but
their
they get their
belief
money
of
back. It's called
pursuing
a
this
bonus.
opportunity.
All right,
You
so
know,
that's the
this is
same.
sad.
So I wouldn't have to change my marketing
Yeah.
message for that. That's the
I
same.
wanted to tell the truth, but I
The
knew it
next
couldn't
part of my
happen. So I
marketing
told a
message was what?
non-truth to non-know
It
what
was
would
that every
happen,
time
so
they
it might
enrolled a
not
person
happen.
who enrolled 3, that they would then get the rebate. Well, they get it.
You just throw a
and then we would get
negative in front
commission.
of it and double
You
negative
get it.
everything.
And so my marketing message doesn't have to change there.
You're like,
Where my marketing message does need to change is that up until now, how many you've not been able to get paid a single nickel on an ongoing basis for those people who are back there in your group.
no one's
And
been
so
paid
now
to
my
say.
marketing
I know
message
people got their
improves because now
refunds
today I get to talk about a piece
once
of
they
income
got
that you
their
are eligible
DBOs
for,
or
which you
whatever
were not
underneath them.
eligible
They
for
got a
yesterday.
$500 check to
And so I have one piece of
refund.
income that I was talking about, the
They
community
just
bonus
gotta-
pool. I won't talk about that except as a future advent.
like
I have one part that
payback,
I've been
like a
talking about as a future advent, but I've not been talking about as a current reality because it was not. I simply replaced those two.
That's
it.
so simple.
And so
that's all you have to do.
Is remorse to the same
So simple.
message.
Just replace
All
the
I'm doing
things
is
that you're already
replacing the
doing.
order in which those two income components are described. And it is really important. And by the way, I'm looking now at this one thing that says, I trust you, Randy. God, folks, I want you to know
What?
that for me is the
After an
single
hour
most
of him
important
lying
thing
and
in my
admitting he's
world
lying and then lying
is
about
that
the
6
lying,
months from now,
a comment
person
is, I
trusts me more,
trust
not
you,
less,
Randy.
because of the way that we conduct ourselves. Right? That's it. That's
I do
sacred
not
to me.
trust you, Randy.
It's sacred.
Flourish
This
program
is
was brilliant.
revolting, you know, and this will stand out there on the record
You
how
don't
this
need
guy
to be a part of
scammed
the
people
Flourish
and how he
program. Not at
lied.
all.
Now he
Understand
massaged
this,
the
like in
truth
any other
and
business,
used all this
it's
double
not
speak,
true that we
and he
get paid
betrayed the
for
trust
what
of
we
people
sell.
that were like, "I
Every
trust
business.
you," and he's like, "Oh,
You're
that's so
paid if they sell
fantastic!
Fords.
Oh, that's
Chevrolet
so
dealer gets
great."
paid if they sell Chevrolets. And
This
so,
is sad.
but does a Ford salesman have to drive a Ford to get paid commissions if they sell a Ford? No, it doesn't matter to me if you're a member of the Flourish program. Not at all. However, if you want to earn commissions on the Flourish program, then it'll be important that people in your
Yeah,
group.
it doesn't matter
does
to
not
me.
matter. None of you
However,
have to- you
it does
don't have to
very
join the
much so
Flourish
matter
program. None
to
of you
me.
do.
Again,
None
that
of you have to
same
register a card or call a
manipulation
card.
that
You
happens
don't
in every
have to do a
MLM.
darn thing. What the company has done is make income opportunities available to you to try to replace the, not to try to,
Do
but
you
to
hear
in
what he's
fact
saying, though?
replace the fact Some of the things
you
we
don't
bargained for are
have
not
to
yet
enroll
available.
in these things.
So we don't
These are
have
just
to do
income
a darn
opportunities that you can
what the
do.
company has tried hard to do.
If you
and
don't
what
want
I
to do
fully
them, then
embrace
you
and
don't have
encourage
to.
them for
Nobody
doing
held a gun
is
to your
creating
head.
income mechanisms
But
to
who's
allow
joining
us to
this
pay our
company
bills until
to
such time
save
as the
money and
opportunity
knit
to
Under
go to the
Armour
top
tank tops?
with big
Like,
income on
Yeah.
card swiping comes
people
again.
are joining
Okay,
to
come on down
make
here.
money on the swipes that don't
Why did
exist.
they need to split into two
Exactly.
different companies? Once again, it is not being split into two different companies. It is the formulation of one brand
And
new
honestly,
company.
if it was
Why?
real,
because our old
it would
company
be a
had too
great,
many great big
it would
rocks
be
in
a
the runway.
great
I don't believe that
program.
there is a single
Which
TranzAct
makes me
card
realize
member
it
who's
won't
not had
work
somebody
because
log on
credit
and
card
say,
companies
"Wait a minute,
aren't
when I
doing
log
this
on, what I
legitimately.
get is page
Yeah,
after page after
exactly.
page
Aside
after
from,
page after page after
you know,
page
like
after
money
page of
back
crap and
or
grief about
discounts
all
on
these bad
things.
things
Like,
that somebody apparently did sometime once. Isn't that
I
true?
just got this
There is not one of
Costco
us who's in
credit
this
card
business that has not had to
pamphlet
deal with that.
to
And
look
so right
at.
now, it's a fascination to me, really. And I'm not
And
being critical
there's
now of anybody, certainly not of
all
this
kinds of
message.
cashback
But I've had
rewards,
people
gas rewards,
actually
deals
being
on
negative
restaurant,
about
like
that. Folks,
everything.
this is, again, the company. All they're trying to do is help us.
No
They're
fee.
trying to get the boulders
Yeah.
off the runway. You can't get the plane off the runway because there's too many rocks in it. Your contact is telling you, "Oh no, I just Googled TranzAct."
This
Oh, the runway
terrifies
again.
me
The
that this
company just
fucker is
lifted
a
the boulders
pilot.
off the runway
I
for
can't
you.
even.
This should be a
That's
thank
the other
God
thing,
moment,
right?
not a why are they
Pilots
doing
make
this
good
to me
money.
moment.
Yeah.
Right? How
My
soon can we get
cousin's
an
a
8-minute
pilot. He
story
was
of video
actually
to
just here
present the
yesterday
value
hanging out.
proposal?
They make
How
good
about
money.
Monday? I'll be happy to crank that up for a Monday.
And this pilot is still
I can't wait to
in
get
these
this going the next
scams,
day. So, folks,
trying to get
again,
to the top of a pyramid to have
having
all this
been at
residual income.
this,
And
when I
he's
say
a
this, I'm not talking about
pilot.
network marketing. Having
Like,
been at the business
I don't know if it's an episode
of
that we've already put out. Or
assembling
no, yeah, no,
leadership
with
groups
Darren
for
Mudd.
years.
He
That's what
talks
I've
about
done.
the Amway guy
I've
that was on his
assembled
team that was an
leadership groups for years.
anesthesiologist.
And what I've tried very,
In
very, very
Amway.
hard to do is create
That's
equity
like the
within
highest
the
paid medical
organization.
profession,
I
the
want you all to know
anesthesiologist.
that that's where the money lives. The money lives in
Like
creating equity within the
$250,000 to
organization,
start,
such that
like
people
salary.
will
And he's
fight
in
their
a
way past
pyramid
whatever
scheme.
problems the company might endure because they have that magic word a few moments ago, trust in you. Single most important thing all of us can do is treat every single one of our members with, treat all of them with respect, treat all of them with kindness, with
Maybe
compassion,
that's
with
what he is. Maybe he's an airplane
Listen to
game
every
pilot.
single
He's like, I'm a
complaint,
pilot on
fear,
4
and
different
concern,
games.
and answer
That's
it
right.
patiently. And
I'm a
remember
pilot for
that
4
these
different
people are acting
planes.
by and large out of fear.
Me
Anger
too,
is
Randall.
fear with the heat turned up. That's what it is. People are acting out of
Randrew is
fear,
another
and
good
we
name.
need to have an unbelievable overabundance of kindness, patience, love, and tolerance as people learn to embrace new thoughts and ideas
Definitely
to get them
tolerance,
past this moment.
because you're going to need to
How
have a
does
lot
the
of
match
tolerance
program work?
for all
Why
the
are new folks
bullshit I'm
not
going to be
being given
feeding you to
that?
convince you
Once
to join
again,
this pyramid
mark the
scheme.
match program. If we go to the
This
If you
TranzAct
critically
card
think
document,
and pose a
you'll find there
question, that is
that
not
if
kind.
you at
And
various
like that.
levels
and
of
caring. No,
assessment,
that's
compensation
negative
plan
stinker
document, or if you
thinker,
go to your back
hater,
office, you'll actually
uncoachable,
find there
vibrating at a lower
a
frequency.
founders
Don't you
or
dare
a
think. We need to have
an
more
affiliate, whatever it's
kindness.
called,
That's what
match
else is going
program.
on here.
If you will
when
not
people
follow
enrolled
us
during the
blindly, you are not
pre-launch
the kind
period,
of
which
people
all
that
of
we
you
want
did.
on
If you're on
this.
this
Yeah.
session right now, you are a founder. And because you're a founder, that means that when the company
This
does
scheme is a
begin
winner.
introducing
We only want winners.
TranzAct cards that
Do
are
what I
created
say,
as a
and you'll be
result
a
of
winner.
influencers, that every time you get a
How much
customer,
disposable income do
and
you
now
have
that
this month?
customer is called an FM, whenever you get a customer, you will be given a number of customers from 1 all the way up to as many as a match of 100 customers based
That's
upon
such a
whether you are a
fucking
founder,
lie.
which you are. And by the way, once again, the day
He's
will
saying
come.
if you get in before March
And this will be
31st
kind
to
of a
become
sad
a
thing, because a lot of
founder,
people who would have
this
benefited
founder
from this will
deadline has
Keeps
been pushed and
moving.
pushed and
in the
pushed.
next 60 days.
Yeah.
Like
Now it's March
a lot of people
31st.
who would have benefited from this.
If you're a
The company
founder,
made every single one of you. You are all a founder. As
then
we
you
speak
get to
right now,
all
you're
be in
a
these
founder.
super
The
extra
day will
bonus
come
pools that no
when
one
your
else will have
primary
access
income,
to.
if you stay engaged in the business, comes principally from card swipe revenue. That is the day that you will look back and say, wow, the company did for me a great favor when they made me a
The company
founder,
did
whether or
nothing
not
for
I
you.
am
They're
qualified
trying
for that
desperately
position.
to keep
And by the
all
way,
of the
those of you who
TranzAct card
work, I've also had
representatives
some
because
people today
God
complaining,
help
"Oh my
anybody
God,
that gets
I
sucked
did
into
this or I did
FinMore.
that so I could be a
I'm
founder,
hoping that
and
there's
now
going to
they've
be enough
given it to somebody
scrutiny and
else."
awareness that
Oh,
people like avoid this with a
man,
10-foot
that
pole.
is
It's like
such
they're
a
just trying to
scarcity
like
attitude.
bring
Let
as
us have
much
an attitude of
TranzAct
abundance.
card
If
people.
somebody
You said
else gets, does that
scarcity.
mean I have less? It is
Some
not.
people are like,
I mean,
oh,
it's
I'm
like some of these
so glad glad
They
it's
bounce off of my
changing. I
brain.
feel so much more
So
confident
if the
with this
company was kind kind
Mhm.
enough to cause others to be founders. who
Oh, you
maybe
know what
didn't
I thought
fulfill
today?
it.
A Live Good
Maybe some
representative
of
on
those are in your
Facebook
group.
throwing shade
What if you enrolled one
at
person and
TranzAct
today
card.
they became
They
a
did a
founder
whole
who didn't
post.
qualify for it?
TranzAct card, I
Think
saw
of
the
what
red
the
flags. I
company
didn't want to
gave
say anything. And they're
you
like,
and
that's
what
why
the
I'm so
extension
happy
of
with the
that
Live
is.
Good opportunity. Even MLMs are
Change the
throwing
filter on
shade.
glasses
Even the
just a little bit.
brainwashed see how bad
Instead of it, I
TranzAct card
understand, but
is.
a lot of challenges. But when the filter on our glasses is to look at what's wrong,
Like
instead
it's
of
our
looking at what's
network all
right and
over
looking at what the
again.
company's doing for me, it doesn't change the fact that there are things that are wrong, but it does
I mean,
change the
Richard
way that we
Smith's been
react
trying
to them. Or at
to
least it
tap
changes the way
into
that
the
I
credit
react to
card
them.
swiping
Is the Go program
financial
going away? Yeah,
MLM
the
for a
Go
long
program is
time.
not going away. This
I
read
wonder
yet
if he's
another
still
example
associated because they still
of
talk about
not
him.
something that
Yeah.
makes
He
us
wasn't
money right now.
associated even as
And
like a
anything
silent
that
partner.
doesn't
I
let
don't
you
think
pay
they bring
your
his
bills
name up
right now
at all.
is not something
When you
that the
Google
company needs to be
Richard
investing
Smith
its time on. You're going to be hearing more about the
and you
Go
add
program
MLM
in
because
a
there's a
matter
lot
of
of Richard
weeks,
Smith.
not
When
months.
you
That
Google
is
it,
an
it
ongoing
comes
part
right
of our
up.
offering. It is not something that
It's a
makes
good
you
All
money
his
this
scams,
month.
all
Therefore,
his
it's not what we're
fraud,
going to be
all
talking
his.
about this month.
He's been convicted multiple.
Did I hear you say you'd
He's a
have less than more
felon.
debit cards for 6 months?
He has a second degree
Well,
felony on his
what you
record.
heard me say is that you're not going to hear me
And he
saying
pays
anything
a
about having
fine,
debit
what,
cards before 6
250
months.
hours of
Because
community
if I
service,
say
so
they
you
might
just
And
come on to the next month,
$200,000.
then I can count on
Yeah,
getting
on
a
to the
message
next
right
scam.
after they say, Randy,
Which
when am
is
I getting a
less than
card?
Billy McFarland.
What I'm telling everybody is that if you ask me about cards and anytime less than 6 months, I'm going to say check back with me in 6 months.
And less than Rory
Because I don't
Gilmore
want
on the
that to be a
Gilmore
part of
Girls
the
too. I
dialogue.
think she
Okay?
had like
Now,
500
when he
hours
said,
of
how do I
community
explain
service.
this to my TCM FMs? You've got this recorded,
My
right?
TCM
I just explained
FMs.
it. Just send it over to them. Don't do heavy lifting. Understand this. If you
Don't
can
tell
allow,
them in
so
6
in this
months,
particular case,
you can't ask me any questions. Just come back
right,
in 6
wrong,
months. Don't do
indifferent,
any heavy
deserved or
lifting. Don't
undeserved,
ask. This
I
man
am
is
perceived and
terrified.
viewed as a voice of
His
knowledge and authority in
downline
this
is
situation.
like
So let
it's
me
like
answer the question
a
for you.
leaky boat.
The
It's
question
going
that is
down.
answered
It's
by
like
me.
the Titanic.
Invite your person onto my Zoom on Monday night. All right, invite them onto the Zoom on Monday night. Put the question
Oh,
in the
there's a
text
Zoom
string
tonight.
and let me answer it for you. And to the
I should get
extent that you
I
remove
should get the
yourself
link.
from the answer,
I don't want to watch
then
it
it
live.
lets
I'll
you
watch
be
it
a
later.
buffer of that answer, and it makes it
I'm
easier
going to send
for
my
your new
source.
member
I'm
to
going to
accept
send her a
one.
message.
They'll accept the message from me, even though they don't know me and they know you. They'll accept the message from me differently than they will from you, because that's the way third-party validation works. And because maybe, just maybe, I don't know, but maybe I have a little more knowledge in this area that I have. Will there be a community bonus for FBOs that
inbox
signed
is
up
a
after
mess.
2/12/24? Yes. Once again, repeated this several
There it is.
times. The community bonus will continue. It will not go away. It will not be something that can be funded until cards are in widespread distribution.
Yes,
When
I
will they be?
answered this already a
With me
number
in
of
6
times.
months.
You're not
Okay.
making
I think that
any
you'll never have to
sense.
ask me the
You're
question,
speaking
because I believe that will have happened
word
before I
salad.
answer it.
You're
Okay.
rocking and rolling. Your tongue flipping out.
When
You're rubbing your
are we
nose.
getting
You're
the new
pushing
debit
your
card?
glasses
No reason
up.
to respond to that at this point in
You're
time.
sketchy,
Do you
dude.
think they'll exceed the 200% back in the marketplace since we don't have cards and are not close to getting them? I apologize. I don't understand that question. So whoever sent that one, that was Ashton. I don't understand your question. If you want to type it back in there, I'll try. What happens if our TCM do not like this change? This is Chelsea. Don't impose
Okay, I
that on
just
anybody.
messaged her.
This is a kind of a non-event. There should be exactly no TCM who does not like this change. Why? Because they're still
I
going.
got
They
to
are still a
keep on
TCM.
moving.
They're going to get the debit card. That's going to happen. But then she says, we'll be able to get their $25 back. Of course. And I said, or am I going to have to provide that? Of course not, Chelsea. If anybody wants a refund,
Don't ask me about the
anybody,
fundamentals
they
of
can get it.
business for 6
Anybody.
months.
That's, I mean, again,
And not the
there
past
is
6
nothing,
months.
there is
That's
not
the
a
wash.
single thing
This
about
new
this company
forward-moving
that
Yeah,
is
that's right.
lack of integrity. That's simply not the
Talk
case.
to me in
And there
August.
has not been a bait and switch. We told you this, and now you get that. If you don't like it, too bad
Again,
for you.
just
That
to
is not the
reiterate,
truth.
this is not
This
a bait
is
and
a company
switch.
that is
This
owned,
is totally
operated,
cool
operated,
and
and
real
run
and
by
neat
good
and
people
legit.
of goodwill and intent.
We
Not every
always
decision
liked
they've made
you.
up until now
Never
has been the
ever
right
tried
one.
to
Not
scam
every
you.
single thing they have
Not,
said has been proven over time.
it's
to
a
be true.
franchise.
I
Franchises
will
are
limit
real.
the
It's literally
I
what it
will
feels
limit
like.
that really to just a person, and it's a person. As I've told you, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I happen to like Richard. Richard
Oh,
has
you are throwing him under the bus.
that he wants are true, that he believes one day
I
will
don't
be
want to
true,
throw
but
Richard
which
under
are
the
not true.
bus, but
So I've stopped receiving information.
but
from
Regina
that
George,
particular source.
wham!
He just stopped receiving information. I can still be his friend, by the way. I can still be his friend. Far be it
That'd
from
be
me
a
to
funny
claim
edit.
perfection.
I don't want to throw Richard under the bus.
Okay, next thing down here. Please tell us that corporate is going to communicate all these changes to the program to existing TCMs. Yes. I do believe, Victoria, area that
metaphorically
you'll begin
flying
to
the
see
plane
a steady
while
flow
building
of
it.
information from the company.
Where do the wings
The
go?
company is getting better in many
You don't need to have them. You
The
just got to
communications
believe.
department is
Are the wings on the outside
I
of the
think
plane or the inside? I can't remember.
one of
I'm just the
Malin's
pilot.
strengths that is not yet evidenced in our organization is communication, and you will shortly see a substantially improved. I think it's already better, but you'll see a lot more. So I'm confident on that one. How do we promote it going forward? Do we still explain the community?
Communication's going to get better, so my job will be easier.
Manager grants and bonuses, those are all there. Everything
Less
is there.
to translate.
And again, on the community pool, I will explain the community pool. It is still a part of the compensation plan. I will explain how, just like up until now, I've been explaining parts of the compensation plan that
He's
people
getting mad. Look at him. Ooh.
I've made
Community pool is his trigger. Just like get people in there and like ask him about the community pool. He's going to lose his shit.
No one's been receiving any income yet, but I've been teaching. I will simply reverse the order.
How can I get my hands
up until the Las Vegas event? I taught the compensation plan with the very
somebody
first
might have
thing
asked this already, but can you just recap the community
how
pool
one gets
again?
the return of capital. That was a rebate when the rebate existed. The next thing I've been teaching is the community bonus pool. Okay, so now
community
bring back the rebate.
Notice that there's no P in it. We'd like to keep it that way.
Investment bonus, I think is what they called it. And then the second component that I will teach is the manager grants. Those are available right now. Third thing that I will teach is that back end component. We used to call them the DBO grants, whatever they're called now. And the last thing, the fourth thing,
whatever they're called now, I don't know. I'm so confused.
The last thing,
I have a glossary on my phone.
The card swap is funded by the community bonus pool. So all the comp plan components remain. They're not gone. I will simply teach them. But
there's still no comp plan because there's still no card swap.
Why isn't it called Evermore anymore? Not called Evermore just because.
Because Taylor Swift sued your fucking ass for using it. She sued an amusement park. Don't you dare think she won't sue an MLM.
Nobody asked me if
what
I
are the hours of the
community? The name Evermore should change. I don't know.
24/7, 365 days a year.
Is this an 18 up community pool? Is there an after hours area?
Marketing materials.
Is there a jacuzzi at the community pool?
I know that there are some people who bought all this.
Randy in a Speedo.
So yes,
get the
I will allow
Chickaroni or whatever from Pure Romance. I hear he likes to go in hot tubs.
Once again, these are good people.
Is that a fin in your pocket, or are you just happy
to spend $300 or $400 buying swag last week, and it's not a value this week? This is not a company that says, "Well, bummer, burn on you." That's not the truth. I mean, generally speaking, if you'll just wrap your arms around the idea that this company will do the right thing, I think you'll find out that by and large that'll be proven to be true. By and large, the company will do the right thing.
By and large, the company do the right thing.
For existing and enrolling members not wanting the
sounds like the Micro Machine
what is the
guy.
best response when they can get them? Okay, and so once again, Pamela, I hope that I've answered that question already. They do not need to get the alcohol. They don't need to. And if they don't need to, then they can register as an FCM. And they can simply bide their time. They will not receive, once the all card program is introduced, they will not be receiving these freebies week after week after week.
Once the all card comes out, you're not going to get your free
Z-Bucks
or
away.
Fin credits anymore.
The definition of inflation is too many dollars.
I really do. Like, it reminds me of going to Dave and Buster's and seeing like the big TV and be like, I'm going to save for that. And then pay 15 times more to win.
Every day, just like
because they're using cards that will make our offering a better offering, a more legitimate offering. And so I'm happy for that. Probably a long, boring answer to a very short question.
When you said about the name
FinMore. It will not be very long. It'll be very
so
short.
Dumb. I do like more Fin better.
Z-Bucks utilizing the all card program. The one who wants to wait can just wait. No problem.
No,
Randy would be so great to share a short video regarding the current state of FinMore opportunity. I'll be happy to do that. Hank, come down. You know what? They just allow Randy to deliver messages going forward. Guys, I have asked. The absolute truth is that I listen to messages that I get confused. We all have our own strength. I wish they would let me use mine here. But
sounds better.
Will founders still get paid
so we're
TranzAct comp plan? You'll receive the founders bonus. This is for Becky Sumner. Becky, you'll receive the founders. And by the way, there will also be an introduction of an actual founders bonus.
It's a Hydra shark.
Founder will actually have. You'll hear it pretty soon. It won't be big. But there will be
coming everywhere. Oh, shit. Opportunities everywhere.
The company announced that. But yeah, that's coming. Are all founders now qualified?
We've already jumped all the sharks.
If they have 3 TCMs. Don't understand that question.
I like
how
the
do we invite our
joke.
TCMs on Monday night?
We keep the shark
anyone
joke
that
theme
you have,
going with this MLM.
that you would like to hear my understanding of the current
Abby loves sharks,
situation.
so I think
And
we
I'm
have like a
describing it to you
giant
right now,
shark
guys.
squishmallow
And by the way, if
or
I find
something.
out that anything I've told you is not accurate, if I find out that something needs to be, and I don't think it is, I'm pretty up to date here. But if there's some
Sharks are
small error, if I
hyperfixation animal
misspoke
for the
something,
month or two.
but I'll clear that up on Monday. But it's the same Zoom link, and this will be Monday night at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 on the West Coast, 9 on the East Coast. Literally anybody that you want to have on this session, have me on the session. And just like tonight, there is not a question that's not okay. Anything anybody wants to ask. If I know the answer, I will give you the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you that. If you raise issues that I think I can help with, I'll do my very best to help with those. Okay, I signed up as a DBO. I have 13 TCM. Okay, so I signed up as a DBO in December. I did not make manager. I have 13 TCM. And so here's the answer.
I mean, I could literally
You can
change my
enroll
name and
3
be like, I signed
DBOs
up as a
going forward
DCB
have
and
called
I don't know what I'm
or
doing.
you can enroll 7 more
How do I
TCMs.
get
When
my
you enroll
money?
7 more TCMs, boom, you've got 20. You are now a manager. Just DBOs became founders, or TCMs also. Just DBOs. There's no such thing as a founder position for a TCM.
Nope,
They said in
that's
the
just a
last
card
call, only
member,
founders will get the community pool. No,
not
that
a
is a
bank
misunderstanding.
manager.
The founder, there's 2 separate things. There is a desire
Conveniently
Yeah.
doesn't
reward
understand
founder,
questions.
and that
Yeah.
desire being born of what? Being born of the various deadlines.
So
Oh my gosh,
defensive.
Sarah, I mean, Carol, I don't know, you might have leaped at something because you were told you have to be a founder tonight.
Like,
And then you
maybe
found out a month
jumped
later, oh, I could have done
something?
it tonight. And then you found out a month later, oh, I could have done it tonight. Right? What we're trying to do is make people feel good about the decisions that they have made.
Yeah, you
Any
are trying to make them
question
feel
was
good
raised
to
earlier,
try to
David's
plug
question.
the holes
I
of the
promise you,
leaky boat
folks,
that's going
that has
on
never
here.
been anywhere
You're trying
near
There's
the
a leak in
radar
the boat.
scam people.
Nowhere near the
Yeah,
radar
you're
screen.
continuing to
We
scam
want all the
people. This
founders
is
to feel good,
horrible.
but we don't want people who
And
weren't founders
then
to feel
all
bad.
their time now,
And
because
so
they're
if you
starting to
if you
like
completely
critically
eliminated
think,
the
it's
community
taken
bonus
up
pool,
with
said only
even
founders
more
get
of
it,
these
well, that
ridiculous
means that
Zoom
only
calls and
founders would
and
get it. That would
emergency
make everybody
corporate
else feel
calls,
bad
and
forever.
everybody
And
changing
I
their
know that there was a
group
slide just
logos and
like there was a slide
FinMore
doesn't
and
mean it is wrong.
TranzAct
The
card
slide
and
is wrong.
update. Like,
Doris
it's
just really
so
popped
much
that up and said, the
unnecessary
slide said this.
activity.
That
Florida,
was like
the
somebody was
founders pool
complaining
is
about all of
separate
that.
from the community pool.
Like how
The
much
founders pool is not
things
in
have
the
changed
compensation
and
plan
like
as we
I
speak.
thought I signed up for
That is
this.
something
Like
that is
what's
going to
going
be
on?
added. It will be small. And when I say small, I'm talking about a couple $100 a month. You know, to pay somebody a lot of money because they just clicked on a button. That's not right.
That's not how
but
pyramid
to
schemes
acknowledge
work.
that
Like,
they
come
did
on.
act on an incentive, that is
You've
right.
been in this
And so it'll be a
industry
small
for
ongoing
20
thing. It
years.
does not replace the
You
community
should
bonus
have a
pool.
better
The
understanding of the
community bonus pool will
industry
be
than I
accessed
do.
via the similar to the way the compensation plan was always written, no change, and it'll start being paid.
If you have a
when we
better
have
understanding,
widespread
then you know
card
exactly
swiping
what's
going on.
happening.
And now we all know.
No, it's
And I
like they
don't know
put
when it will
this
be,
much effort
but
into
I do
scamming
know
people.
that if
Like,
anybody
get
asks
a
me, get
job,
back with me
for
at 6.
God's sakes. Instead of these
Did I hear
midnight
correctly? The
Zoom
new
calls where
price
you
is
can't
gonna be
even visit your
$50.
96-year-old mother.
That is
This
correct.
is time freedom. You got to be
Let me
doing
see
this
what else I've
ridiculous
got here. I
video,
probably kept you
post
guys
it all
here way
over the
too long.
place. Like, are you kidding me? Get a job. You got all the time freedom you want then. Because when you're off work, you're off work.
TranzAct card. Yes. Somebody asked, do I have a TranzAct card Facebook account? It is called Digital Banking Professionals. That undoubtedly will change to something else. And folks, I've probably, and I see Renee that it maxed out capacity last time. I already did that, or we would have maxed out capacity this time too. So there'll be plenty of capacity. I don't have any problem with that. Folks, I've probably kept you here long enough. I'm hoping that I've provided at least some clarity.
There it is. Digital Banking Professionals. It's a public group.
The bottom line. Here is the absolute bottom line.
Randy Schroeder.
I have looked at this from the following perspective. Forget everything I ever heard about TranzAct card before today. I am measuring it based upon what the offering is today. And if I would not join this company based on today's offering, then I would not be here talking to you today. That is the truth. If I wouldn't join it, I'm sorry, I'd be here talking to you, but I wouldn't be telling you that I think this is a business we should be in if I wouldn't join it today. If I would only join it based on what it's going to be like sometime in the future.
Oh, good.
But isn't that what
If
you're
I would just-
saying to people? You're
You know what?
future
I
faking
missed
about
it.
the
Swing and a miss.
future.
I would tell you that. That is not the truth. Those
There's
people
no
who are
cards.
able
Those are
to
coming in the
drop
future. So
the
you
baggage
would
of
still
what
join
we believed
today.
it would be, and it is not. That is useless baggage. And instead, pick up the useful baggage
How
of what
dare
it
you
is
have concerns
and how it
about the
meets the
lies?
needs
That's
of people that we
baggage.
have enrolled and how it will meet the needs of people that we will enroll. To the extent that we can pick up the useful baggage.
Enroll, you mean recruit.
This is the moment. These are
Right.
the times
What's
when leadership
useful
is expressed, and this is
Yeah.
when the money is made.
Like a Louis Vuitton
Leadership
weekender?
ranks,
Is
leadership
that useful
ranks,
baggage?
titles
Like I don't
mean
understand
nothing.
what.
Expressions of leadership Those are what mean
Schrodinger
something.
Randy.
Those
Or Randy
people who
Schrodinger.
properly
Isn't his last name
express leadership
Schroeder?
in the next 90 days
Schrodinger
will be
Randy.
rewarded
He's
in
both a
my
liar
mental
and not a
passion
liar
for
at the
it.
same time.
This mirrors 3 other times in my life.
He doesn't
when
want to
literally
be a
nothing
liar,
has gone
Dave. He
right
just keeps
for 6
saying
months.
lies.
And by the
But
way,
he doesn't
in the
know
industry
they're lies until right
experiences,
after he says
it was 6
them.
more months of nothing
But
going
he's
right
like, oh no,
before things
I
started to
lied
go
again
well.
just now.
I think we're ahead of the curve on that.
He's like,
Folks,
I'm
I
not
just
going to
want
lie
you to know I
anymore.
appreciate
Lie,
you.
lie,
I
lie.
value you. My only desire is to help. Promise you, the center of my being. That's my desire.
My only
Oh.
desire
I'll
is to
appreciate
help.
it.
I promise you.
See you
My
soon.
only desire is
Bye-bye.
to help. That's my promise.
Promising
Schroeder.
empty promises to have to make that many assertions that I'm just helping you. Trust me, I promise. Love, kindness, all that. This is a con man. And I feel so bad for these people. I feel so bad for these people that are being manipulated by this still.
I feel like he repeated himself like 18 times in a lot of spots where he kept saying the same. Like he's got this program where he knows what to say. And so like as soon as he hears a keyword, it like goes back into that robotic, like it wasn't a lie when we said it. We didn't know it was going to be a lie. It has been a lie. We've corrected it. Everything's great. I would still join. And you're just like, everything's like, he's like, I'm not going to lie to you. And then he lied. And it's like, so everything you just said was a lie, including the I'm not going to lie to you. It's like very Billy McFarland. Like the first thing out of my mouth is trust me. And this is why. And then it's lies.
Yep.
That are easily debunked. If you don't have red rose colored glasses on, you're like, oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not even happening. Oh, the income opportunity. Right. But there is no income opportunity. The income opportunity that you're telling everybody about is the card swipes. It's when you swipe, there's a percentage that gets divvied up to 10 levels or whatever. Or when someone joins a program, then you get like a singular one-time fee. Like when someone joins, so I was trying to figure this out, and I talk about this in the video. When someone joins, say, Julie, you're on my team. I join I'm on the FinMore, you're in FinMore. If I enroll somebody, then I get $5 on that enroll. But if you enroll somebody, you get $5 and I get $3, and that $3 like goes up to 10 levels. So that's $35 off the potential, right? So we've got, or not even, but say like 30-ish bucks, right? I'd have to do math and I'm bad at it. That's $35 for the sake of round numbers off that $100 enrollment fee or whatever, right? Where's the rest of that money go?
And that's a good question, and people should be asking that. You did
where's
a really
that other
great
money go? How come I only get $5 and everybody else gets $3, and yet there's still enough money that we're still getting the smaller piece of the pie? Where's the other $65 going for every enroller or whatever? And I don't know the price, or it's actually more than that because I think it's $200 to enroll. So where's the $165 going if enrollers are only getting $35 worth of bonus? And that's why he's saying you don't want to just enroll people because that's just a one-time thing. That's not where the real money is. It's in the card swiping. And I'm like, yes, of course. You link your TranzAct, FinMore, whatever, to your bank account, to your credit cards. And there's this new program that they have called All Card, which is where you can link all your cards. And so all of your cards are linked through again, we'll just use this as a TranzAct card. And I've got my Costco credit card. I've got my Visa credit card. Maybe I've got a Delta credit card. I've got my regular bank debit card, and they're all linked to this. So when I swipe it, I don't know how it would discern which credit card you're using or how, like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? So you can link them all and you can use this card to get points. And until everybody gets this card, they're giving double Z-Bucks for like gift card purchases, or whatever the Fin credits now, but you guys know what we're talking about. You're getting double because there's no card. This doesn't exist. Just the idea of this. So you're getting the credits when you go onto your app on your phone and you're logging into your Z Club app or whatever, and you're buying gift cards that you've linked your other credit card to. So you're buying it, but because it's linked through your app, you're getting double Z-Bucks. And every week that they have not launched cards, everybody that should have a card is getting an additional bonus Z-Bucks as a thank you for being patient. So there are people that I've seen in these groups that are like, I have 50,000 Z-Bucks. I can't wait till the store, or whatever. I don't think it's that much, but they've accumulated because they're like, well, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to spend $200. Might as well buy $200 worth of gift cards and then shop with the gift cards. So now I'm getting 400 in Z-Bucks plus the 200 gift card that I spent my money on, but I really spent $203.50 because there's the fees, which people aren't thinking about. And then they're buying, and I'm like, you're spending $3.50 more every time for these Fin credits or Z-Bucks to shop in this special store. And this special store is basically an overstock store that you might stumble into at a mall or on eBay or any of these places where you go in and you're like, oh my God, all this stuff is like brand new with tags, like a resale store, but like an actual store. This is all brand new with tags. Oh my gosh, this is Macy's stuff. Oh my gosh, this is Nordstrom stuff. It's only $20. And then they're taking that $20 shirt that they're getting from wherever to put in the Z store. And they're saying it's $35, but you can spend 15 of your Z-Bucks to bring it down to $20, which is what it's for sale for. So what's the point of the Z-Bucks if they're just buying down the inflated price? There's no reason for them except to dangle that, oh, while you're paying your monthly fee or while you're waiting around, we're going to give you a bunch of free tickets for the Dave & Buster's store so you can get your TV faster. But the only thing you can spend 100% Z-Bucks are their flash sales. And the flash sales just come and go. There's no way of knowing when they're coming. There's no way of knowing what it's going to be. And the flash sales that I've seen have been like My Pillows, My Pillow scarves, My Pillow vitamins. Like it's all this like Dave, or what is his name? Not Dave, Mike Lindell's store. And then plus Macy's from 2 seasons ago that I found on eBay for cheaper. So if the difference is this skirt, this leopard print skirt that I really want is $20 on eBay, or it's $35 and I can buy down with my Z-Bucks to make it $20, what's the point of the hoops to jump through? Like, I don't understand what the point is because there's no swiping. Once there's swiping, I get the points. I understand that there's like accumulation of funds or something. I understand once swiping has been enacted, but swiping doesn't exist. It's like people are like, come to our farm. So great. You're going to love, it's $150 to get in, but there will be unicorn rides eventually. Like, okay, sounds great. I'll hang out at the zoo to ride a unicorn for $150. Sounds great. When are the unicorns getting here? Maybe next month. We'll see. There's a hang up at the unicorn warehouse. That's what this feels like to me. Promises of things that don't exist to save on things you don't need.
Bingo. You know, you did such a good piece of content when you were speaking about how much people are paying per year when they're originally enrolling with TranzAct card at, what is it, $495 or $450?
Yeah, $495 to become a branch manager with TranzAct card, $500.
And then you said what it would cost for the whole year. And in that Zoom call that Randy Schroeder just did, there was not one piece of accurate business information. This was all mindset, nonsense, gobbledygook, deflection, denial, empty promises, and repetition. There was nothing in here about actually teaching you, training you about what an actual business is. He doesn't even know what the definition of a franchise is. And he certainly doesn't know what the definition of a scheme of pyramid selling, according to Canada's Competition Act, Section 55.1. He should actually bone up on that too. But to not even tell people you should be tracking your income and your expenses. This is the money that you would be spending per month. Why is it that an anti-MLM creator like you, Roberta, had to spell out, this is actually what your expenses would be for a year. And people would be arguing with you saying that's not true. And you actually did the math for them.
Yeah. It was just under $2,000 with like, if they were, because the fight on them that they were pulling back on me, which it's fine. They're like, we're not paying those fees yet. Like they're letting it be free. So it hasn't cost me that. I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but once everything is good to go, this is what it will be. Like nobody is looking at that it's going to cost you X amount a month. that like if you do this all card that and you're not a legacy member, I'm assuming legacy members join before the join date, which keeps moving. So I don't ever really know, but I think the new legacy cutoff is March 31st. It was January 1st. Now it's March 31st. So if you join before then, you're a legacy member. And the deal with the legacy members is you have the ability to tap into that community pool of money, which I think is where the swipe money goes. Like once they start swiping, some of the money will go in the pool. LuLaRoe did this. LuLaRoe had a monthly pool that was, I think, like 2% of like the monthly sales or something. It would go into this pool, and everybody that had a ticket in the pool, and you would get tickets, they're not tickets, but once you hit certain qualifications, you'd get like a tally, like you've got one ticket into the pool. So you'd have these tickets into the pool, and then at the end of the month, that would represent on your bonus check. Say there's $10,000 in the pool, and there's 10,000 people. Everybody gets $1 on their bonus check for the pool bonus. But the pool bonus in LuLaRoe was consistently between about $500 to $700 per ticket. And so as you ranked up, you'd get a ticket. Oh, you hit leadership, you get a ticket. Oh, someone underneath you hits leadership, you get 2 tickets on them. So people that had multiple people would have all of these tickets. I don't know how their bonus pool works, but I know that that's how some bonus pools work, where you can qualify for like tickets or exponential dips. Where you're like, oh, I have 5 tickets in the pool, so I'm going to get $2,500 instead of $500. So I'm not sure, but I think that when they swipe, there's a certain percentage that goes to like up the pyramid. And then there's a certain percentage that possibly goes into that pool. And then that pool is divvied up at the end of the month, depending on how many people have access to that pool. And that's like an additional bonus. But that pool doesn't exist because the pool, I believe, is fed with swipes, and there is no swipes because there is no card.
Because there are no cards. There's still no
and
cards.
And you buying gift cards on your regular credit card on the app does not count as a swipe. So no money from all of the gift cards that people have been buying the past 7 months. I mean, I see people screenshots all the time. They're like heading to Walmart, stocking up on cards, and they'll buy like $50, $50, $50, $50. I don't know what the max is, but I feel like because you have to pay fees on all of these cards, like people aren't really thinking about it because they're like, oh, $3.50 is nothing because in 6 months from now, I'm going to be making $10,000 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Residual.
They're not tracking their expenses. They're not running this like a business. They're being conned, and they're wasting money, and they're making an excuse for it because of the millions that are going to come, the windfall of being part of this amazing community.
Right. And they if they quit now and it does actually work, they're going to look silly.
Yeah.
So they might as well stay, lose $500. It's only $500, right? Like, the off chance, it's like the gambling, right? It's like you can't win if you don't play.
That's exactly it. I've seen people say across these multi-level marketing scams, well, I'm just going to wait and see, as if that's a good decision. Right. And it's like, that's also that sunk cost fallacy. It's like that denial. I'm hoping that these people are starting to like slowly wake up. It's like another crack in their mind. It's like, I'm going to wait and see. It's like, that's also like scripted behavior, that people think that they're making an autonomous decision and they're being played by these MLM companies. It's like, you think that this is smart by waiting. They're counting on a portion of the people to say exactly what you just said. You know, it's so sad. I just really feel for a lot of these people. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos today and they're like, I'm so humiliated. I was part of this scam. And I left them a response. You know, they had responded to somebody else. And I'm like, I'm so sorry you've been in this. A lot of us have been scammed too. Yeah. You know, you're not alone. And I said, I just want to acknowledge the courage that it takes for you to even leave this comment, because these scams rely on people being too humiliated or afraid to speak out. And just that comment is going to lend courage to other people.
Absolutely.
To comment and then to eventually get out. So if you happen to be watching this and you're the person that did it, good for you. And I'm happy that you got out.
Yeah. The other thing, I've had people comment on some of my videos too. They were like, oh my God, I joined TranzAct card. There's no way that I'm doing this FinMore thing. I didn't make any money. I lost all this stuff. I feel so foolish. And I was like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. You're not alone. I would love to talk to those people. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to have them come on the show and just share their experience, even if they're not, because here's the other, I think that's so valuable, is talking to people who are coming out of something and being like, well, this is what I was told. And they're not like necessarily healed enough to like maybe tell their whole story, but they're at the point where they're angry enough that they can tell what's happening to them right now. And I think a lot of times I don't necessarily like to talk to people who aren't like at least on a healing journey of understanding.
Yes.
But I think sometimes, especially like when I'm like, well, let's head to the comments to find the truth.
Yeah.
When you talk to people who are in that headspace, sometimes a lot of really good pieces of information will come out that we're like, oh, that we don't necessarily get. So I don't really like to do it unless the person really has an understanding of like the point I'm trying to make. But there have been a couple different people who have left comments that were like, I fell for this. And I hate being like, I told you so. And I'm not going to be like that with victims. But at the same time, it's like, this is why I make this content.
Exactly. I feel the same way, you know, about, because people are at a high risk if they haven't begun healing or realizing that all multi-level marketing companies are the same. Like that one rep, they're like, aha, I told you so. TranzAct card is this scam, but Live Good is better. It's like they're going to hop from one MLM to another. And it can be, you know, I remember what it was like for me when I first woke up. I thought, oh, holy crap. I thought I had it figured out. I could not believe the layers that were peeling back in the months to come. And, you know, you just don't know how many MLMs people have been involved in and how much like their family is involved in. And it's like, I know I feel the same way. I would like to have people be able to speak out and amplify their voice, but it's such a nuanced and delicate thing because it's like mental health. And you've been in a cult, you know, a lot of these people, this isn't their first MLM, you know, they've been, and they're probably already in another one. And this might be causing it to like start to break apart and being like, oh no, you know?
Right. Yeah. I'm very interested. I know there's one woman who I follow on TikTok who is kind of an anti-scam type person as well, like reports on things. And she joined TranzAct Card in spite because she had been making content about TranzAct Card and she was getting a lot of pushback like we get. That's like, you don't even know, you've never even joined. So she spent the $25 and joined. And then I think she got kicked out. And then she ended up spending like the $500 to join under like a fake name so that she could get the information. And she's been reporting on it. And I said, I would love to talk to you. And she's down to talk too. But I'm just like, why are you spending the money? Like, you don't need to spend the money to prove it. Like, you can just pay attention like we are. But she actually decided to join so that she would have that extra information and that extra connection to it. I was like, I would have to crowdsource that kind of money to be like, let's join an MLM, you know, and dissect it from the inside out.
And how cool is that there are so many people's eyeballs on this now. Criticism, scrutiny, where it's people that might not even, you know, be really aware of how horrible multi-level marketing is, but they're even reporting on it. And then you have people that are in the scam, they're commenting. That's like exponential growth happening right there. That never happened a few years ago. People would be too terrified to say anything because you'd be swarmed from all this, you're a hater, you're negative reporting accounts. And that pendulum is swinging. Like people are feeling, there's so many people in these different groups that are like anti-MLM, people that were multi-level marketing participants, or they were, they're helping collect data for various multi-level marketing creators. They're already in these groups. And then by example, when they pose a question, other people are seeing it. And then you have reps, participants that are starting to wake up. They're starting to forward information, even when they're not out. This never happened before. This is really exciting to see.
No, it's really cool. And like honestly, when I was at Costco and they like gave me this, like I immediately thought of TranzAct Card because listen, this is a Costco card. I mean, it's a Costco credit card. You can use it wherever, but you get all the extra points at Costco. You get 4% off, 4% back, cash back on eligible gas and EV charging for the first $7,000. I mean, there are caps, but I'm not going to be spending that much on gas. Like that's a lot. You get 3% on restaurants and travel, 3% cash back. You get 2% back on all Costco purchases. Anything you buy at Costco or Costco.com, you're going to get 2% back cash, and then 1% on everything else. And you get the additional 4% on the Costco gas too. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, how much a month? Or how much is this a year? She goes, there's no fee. I was like, there's no fee? So I was like, let me have that little pamphlet, because I was thinking TranzAct card, where people are like, there aren't any credit card. And I was like, look, I understand not having good enough credit to be able to qualify for a credit card that has benefits like this. I get that. But like I've said before, there are check systems. If you have bad credit and you want the ability to get back into having credit card and you want to fix your credit, there are check systems that you can work through with your bank. You can get prepaid credit cards through the bank and check systems where you fund it and then you can use it that way to build your credit. There are so many things that you can do to be more financially literate so that you're at a place to be able to take advantage of good deals if you're going to go the credit card route, versus these scams like TranzAct card, where you're like, well, my credit's bad, but I do have a debit card and I could swipe and I could get all this extra money. I mean, there are people that are saying, I'm literally shopping at the food pantry, like not shopping, but going to the local food pantry because we do not have enough money to buy food because all of our money is like wrapped up in this TranzAct card thing that we were supposed to be getting paid by now.
And
so what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And you have people like Randy Schrodinger telling you that you are carrying extra baggage, that's your problem. You need to let that baggage go because he's a pilot. And if he's going to take off his plane, he sees a big pile of rocks in his way. He's got to clean out that runway. And that's a shame because you've been deceived, you've been lied to, and you have been conned.
Right. I mean, when you really think about this, when you really think about who is being targeted here, it is the financially vulnerable. It are the people that have bad credit, whether they've been in a bunch of MLMs and racked up a bunch of debt on a bunch of schemes and get rich quick stuff that didn't pan out. And they're trying to get out of it, right? They're sinking and they're trying to get out. They're shoveling the water out as fast as they can. And then this opportunity comes up and they're like, you don't even need a credit card and you can get credit card benefits. This is a debit card. So you don't need the credit to be able to have a credit card. We're going to give you cash back on your swipes. We're going to give you cash back in the form of this extra credit in this extra store that's going to have the things you need, like diapers. I remember them talking about diapers. I have not really seen diapers. No. I've not seen any necessities in this store that they've been talking about, which is the cash back benefit program, right? You're just, instead of getting $50 cash back, you're getting 2 packs of diapers or whatever. Like, it's the same sort of thing, but it's completely different. And they like to make it seem like it's the same. Oh, TranzAct card gives you cash back. No, it doesn't. It gives you game tokens. It gives you tickets to spend in the Dave & Buster's store. It doesn't give you cash back. Can I take my 500 Z-Bucks and get a $500 check? Because that's what I want. No, you can't do that. Credit card? That's what you get. You get a $500 check. You get a whatever. You get that's literal cash back. It's wild to me that this company is taking advantage of people who do not understand financial products, financial institutions, or just financial literacy at all. And they're like, it's the same. And people are like, well, I don't know any better and I trust you, Randy. So it must be the same.
Exactly.
And they're investing money into a card that doesn't exist. They're investing money into a program that doesn't work. They're investing money into a pyramid scheme and being told just to wait, just 3 more months. Those cards are coming. Those cards are coming. The amount of future faking that I have seen in this MLM is wild. It's coming. Just be patient. This is such a good opportunity. You're so lucky to get on the ground floor. It's going to be so amazing. And then if it's so amazing, Julie, if it's so amazing, why do you need to change the name of the company? Because people like Oz, Roberta Blevins, and Julie Anderson are on it. Why? Is that why? Is it because I'm talking about it? Because you're talking about it? Because when you Google TranzAct card or you type in TranzAct card hashtag on any social media, what you get is people like me and you saying, this is a scam. I wouldn't do it. And people being like, uh-oh, well, what do you mean it's a scam? The contrast to Costco, right? They constantly compare themselves. And that, like, these MLMs, they're literally comparing TranzAct card to Costco because you get this warehouse store that's full of Under Armour t-shirts, right? Who needs that? if I went to Costco and all they had were like things I didn't need and food I didn't eat and t-shirts I would never wear, I wouldn't spend $120 a year to shop there. I just wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, and I have an executive membership and I get cash back. I think I've already made $7 on my Costco purchases this year. I just finally decided to get one again. So that's why it's so fresh in my mind, because so many people have been talking about it. I said, you know what? I would like to understand. I'm just going to go get a Costco membership because I need one anyway. And so it's not the same. I wish the Z-Buck store was like a Costco where you could walk in and go, oh my God, I can use my fake dollars here. This is incredible. That's not what it is.
It's so weird too, because it's so misplaced.
Oh, it's
like
Meryl. Okay. Hi, Meryl.
I have a Costco card, and I get a check every year, money back, but it doesn't take over my life. I don't have to join a Facebook group, and I don't have to encourage other people to sign up for this Costco card and then like talk about the swipes. It's like, it's an afterthought. It's like, I'm already using it. I don't need it to propel me to make every decision I'm going to make every day. Oh, I got to use this card and I need to make sure I have a purchase in order to stay active. It's like, I kind of forget about it. And then it's like, oh yeah, look at this. I've got this money back that I can then go and next time I do a big Costco run, because in Southern Alberta, that's what we do. We go to the city, do a big Costco run, and you spend like way too much money and like you get it off. But with TranzAct card, because it's like these commercial cults, they take over your life. They're the priority.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Costco is really only a big deal for like 2 hours on Saturday.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go to Costco, let's get all the things. And then we're like, we got to try that new cookie because they took away my churro. So I had to try the cookie. Pretty good. Had to get a hot dog. Mind you, our lunch, like I spent, because I re-upped my membership. So that's $120. And then I spent like $225 on things. So I'm at what, $350 that I spent on Saturday. Guess how much our lunch was at Costco?
It's only $1.50 for a hot dog everywhere. It's like the best.
It was like,
They've got
like $9.24 for a hot dog, a piece of pizza, 2 drinks, and 2 cookies. I was like, we spent not even $10, but inside we spent $350. So okay, all right. But again, $350 is still cheaper than an original DBO membership of TranzAct card, which is $500.
Yeah.
And now the new one, here's the other point, and we can wrap it up, but here's the new point, is that the old DBOs spent $495 to join. The new FBOs only spent $199. So they spent $304 or $290, whatever, $6 more. They spent $300 more than other people. And they're like, what about us? Did we just like spend $300 more? And someone literally responded and said, yes. Unless you have gotten your DBOs underneath you and become a manager to get your $500 rebate check. Yes. And it's the same with the new one. It's just a $200 rebate check now. So instead of joining for $500 and getting $500 back when you hit a certain level, you're joining for $200 and getting $200 back when you hit that same level. It's the same. It is an in and out. You put in $200, you brought in $600, we're going to give you back $200. You bought $500, you brought in $1,500, we're going to give you back $500. It's the same. It's the same. It's literally a refund because you brought enough people. It's like invite 3, like it's like an affiliate thing when you join like StreamYard. It's like invite a friend and next month, your month is free. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Join StreamYard. I get a free month. Like whatever. It's the same thing. It's just giving people their money back for like, oh, I got in a scam. If I can get 3 more people in the scam, I'll get my money back. And then I'm not getting scammed. And then I just need to teach those 3 people how to get 3 people so they don't get scammed. And then we're all in the system, but we all made our money back. So we're all in it at 0. And I'm like, but you're not in it at 0 because you're buying gift cards that you don't need to buy. And I'm sorry, but when I go to Walmart or wherever, I'm not spending exactly $200. So I'm either going over my gift card or I'm going under my gift card. And then I have all these additional gifts. Who wants to shop with gift cards? Be like, well, I don't know how much is on that. How much is on this gift card? Well, I have $8 left on this gift card. So this is an $8.24. Like, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Not only are you a part of a pyramid scheme, but now you're jumping through all their bullshit hoops and you look ridiculous because you're the one dealing with the gift cards at Walmart and the line behind you where people are like, is she literally paying in gift? Like, what is going on here? And then some people are like, my gift card didn't work and I couldn't scan it. And then I had to pay cash. And then like, it's a scam. Nothing should be this complicated at any point.
Yeah, their behavior has completely changed. Like how you would normally shop, if they're going to compare it to like a Costco card, you use it's a tool, not like an altar. So now they're having, like, not only are they buying all these gift cards, wasting all this time trying to game this system, and then they go in the groups and then they're typing about this and they're sharing it, these strategies. It's like the whole point of all of this is this: you are trying to sell an opportunity. They're trying to sell that you're going to get financial freedom and we're going to help all these people. That's all that this is. And and everything else is confusion, you know? With
the Costco card, I swipe it and I get cash back. That's where my energy ends. Swipe. Yes. With these gift card scams and everything, it's like, got to get a gift card, get the gift card, pay with the gift card. It's so many extra steps for nothing. Because again, the benefit doesn't exist yet. The product does not exist. Paying with gift cards screams scam. And then this thing that David, I said David, but I know that we go by Dave. Who are the 7 influencers besides Mike Lindell? I don't know. I don't know the 7 pillars, the 7 simple steps for being an awesome guy. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. Why 7? Right? 7-minute abs. I don't get it. Why 7? Why is it 7? And who are they? I don't believe that there are 7 actual influencers who are interested in this. I believe that there are 7 scammers with decent followings that maybe aren't real followings, but look like they're real following. I think there's a bunch of scammers who might be into this, crypto bros who might be into this, or you know, like Hunbots who might be into this, but I don't think there's any real influencers. I don't think you're going to see legit people doing this kind of stuff. Maybe Kylie Jenner, she's already been involved in a couple of other scams. Maybe she's the kind of influencer, but I don't even think she would do this kind of stuff. I don't believe there are real influencers. I believe it's Mike Lindell and Kid Rock. And I don't even think Kid Rock's actually involved. But you know what I mean? It's like that kind, like I would not take business advice from the MyPillow guy. I just wouldn't. And also the other thing that's so funny is all of a sudden now that they've changed the names, all the banks want to work with them. Whereas last week when they were TranzAct card, all the banks were like, this is a scam. You're telling me that banks don't Google things? Banks don't look into things? Banks don't go, this is the same company. We're still not interested. You put a different color of lipstick on this pig and we still don't want to work with the pig. I don't understand how immediately, if on one hand, TranzAct card never lost its banking, but on the other hand, now that we've changed our name, everybody wants to finally work with us now. And how are those two things the same?
They still won't say the names of the bank or the bank. Somebody else that was in one of the groups sent me some screenshot, like a copy of the conversation that they had in there. And they're like, the banks are, we have banks, plural, are backing us and we can't. And they said, well, what are the names? And they're like, well, we can't give you the names of the bank yet. Right. Again, the deception. And it's like, I don't want to presume they said it in this word salad way. I put it in a short video. Like, I think it's under 7 minutes or something. But I'm like, the people that have to, that people have to ask in a Facebook group, what is the name of the bank, is preposterous. This is not how a business is run.
This is not transparency. Like they're claiming they want to be transparent. If you're being transparent, like, and I'm investing money, I want to know what it is. Like, I want to know what banks we're associated with, what credit cards are backing us, what financial institutions are interested in this. And it doesn't feel like Chase Manhattan, you know, it's not like banks like that, although I don't even think Chase Manhattan still exists, right? I don't know. I think it does. I don't remember after 2008 and all the banks merged together. I don't remember. I know Washington Mutual doesn't exist, but it's that kind of thing, right? Like, who are these banks? Is it like the Bank of Billy McFarland, like out of the Bahamas or something? Or is this like a real trusted institution that's FDIC insured and has protections? Or is it some weird flimsy bank? I don't trust it, but I'm going to be following up. And now that they've changed their name to get away from what you and I and others have said about it, it makes me just want to cover them even more.
And you're right. And more creators are starting to cover this too, all over. Even people that are in like their I mean, I say comments or content, but like people that are they're just sharing stuff. They're not like content creators where they're making anti-MLM content. They're just sharing this stuff. So it's good
talking
luck,
about
FinMore.
it. They're agreeing. They're like commiserating and like validating people in the comments saying, yep, this is, absolutely. I think it's really important. I think this is a scam that we're going to probably see a lot of this year because they're going to keep pushing that future faking and the cards are coming. The cards are coming. Like I said, it's been 7 months that they've been saying that and I still haven't seen the cards. So, and the first cards got pulled because it was a scam or whatever. I don't know.
How
They
long
won't
do you
give
think
us this info.
how long do you think FinMore is going to last? TranzAct card started to get more pressure, but FinMore is starting off behind because there's already so much scrutiny on it. How long do you want to wager a guess how long FinMore might last?
6 months, maybe.
And then what is the next name you think it's going to? So it went from Rev card to TranzAct card to FinMore. What do you think the next name will be?
Rev card, not our network Rev card. Then it became the TranzAct card. Now it's the FinMore card. I don't know. I want to say it's like called the Cash Daddy-O card or something even stupider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cashback, the cashback card or something that doesn't sound like any of the other ones.
Yeah, it's because
gonna be
all of them are
stupid.
weird. Yeah.
I can tell you that. It will be stupid.
Yeah.
It will be stupid. And people will be like, that's a credit card? Okay. And it's
It'd
not
be like pyramid card or something.
The direct sales card.
The direct sales card. Network marketing professionals card.
Bankles.
Bangles
card. That's a great name.
Keep that close to your $2 signs too, and then they would have like the tattooed of a teardrop underneath. It'd be like
everybody's getting a dollar sign teardrop.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, what? You don't bankle? You don't bankle with bankle? What are you stuck in a JOB? You can't afford to bankle with bankle? Your JOB doesn't pay what is necessary to be a bankle member. I like bankle.
I like bankle too. Oh, bankless, but Bankles is way better. Yeah, Bankles is good.
Oh, it is bankless. Look.
Bankles is better than with the $2 signs. It's so rad. Bankles.
People are like, is it bankless? No, it's bankles.
It's better. That's on like on trend or whatever, because it's always confusing as it never makes any sense. It's like, but how do you pronounce it? Is it one word? Is it TranzAct card? Is it one word? Which letter is capitalized? It doesn't make any sense. It's like Bankles, bankless.
Right. It's like bank and sparkles.
Yeah.
No, it's like a sparkly bank. We have glitter. People love us. We have a cute like logo, pretty colors. Bank with bankles. I bank with bankles. Yeah, that's what it's like. Well, I want to say thank you for spending the last 2 hours with me. This was really fun. I'm glad we got through that video. I'm glad that we got to conversate and discuss sort of our feelings about this. I still think it's a scam. I still think that it's going to be the same shit, different day. And I'm excited to follow it. Unicorn logos, bankles with a unicorn. Yeah, he's Banky, the unicorn. He's the Bankles. He's Banky, the Bankles Bank unicorn mascot. Banky. Not to be confused with Banksy, because we don't want to get sued. It's just Banky.
Yeah.
FinMore. FinMore. So much shark content coming up with the FinMore Baby Shark and Jimmy Buffett songs. Thank you, Julie. We will definitely be in touch with this. I'm very interested to see how this goes. Thank you, everybody, for staying. I know this is a little longer than we normally go, but it was totally worth it because Julie's the best.
Thank you.
You
so much,
should
Roberta.
draw this, Amelia. You absolutely should. And then post it in the Discord so that everybody can be like, what? And be like, what? We invented an MLM, Bankles, the scam formerly known as FinMore, formerly known as TranzAct card, formerly known as Rev card. No association with Richard Smith, asterisk. He's a silent partner. He's just a silent partner.
He's still my friend, double asterisk.
We still really like him. He's great. Don't want to get in trouble there. He's our silent partner. Shh. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Monday. The rest of your week. I am talking to Claire Headley from Scientology in an hour. So if you guys have any questions for Claire Headley, you can message me. But other than that, we're just going to be talking about Scientology. And then that episode will be coming up, I don't know, in like a month or so. Episode that's coming out Sunday. What day is Sunday? I just got a new calendar. Sunday is the 11th. So I think we're going to do Valentine's Day week, and we're going to do Sunday's episode with Nick Thompson of Love is Blind. And then Wednesday, we're going to have a Valentine's Day bonus episode with some romance scam stories that people sent me. So we should have a good little week this week for Valentine's Day. Stay scam free, and we'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Thanks. Bye.